Hello, change makers from across the world. We're super elated and excited to have you join us at the Visioning webinar. How excited are you today? Let's feel your energy in the chat box. Let's feel your energy. Let's feel your energy in the chat box. All right. We're super elated to have you join us this evening. I am your amiable host, Director Oluwatoyin Banjo. Let us know where you're joining us from across the world. I am super excited about tonight's webinar. I can see some of our persons in the chat box. I can see Esther, I can see Nancy, I can see Chiosu. Let us know where you're joining us from across the world. And also share with us your expectations for tonight's webinar. Okay, thank you, Nancy, for sharing. You're joining us all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Love it so much. Okay, Ademuchi Osu is joining us all the way from Nigeria. Exciting to read from you. Do us a great favor. Copy the link, share on your WhatsApp status or across your social media platforms. Get members of your communities and spheres of influence on board. If they are not here, they are sitting on the fence and missing out on so much more. So much is set to go down tonight. All right. Esther says, looking forward to a very transformational session. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Okay. Nancy says, Nigeria. I can also see comfort. Thank you for joining us. All right. We want to read from many of our change makers from across the world. We're excited. We've cooked such a delicious meal tonight, and the buffet is set. So to feast with us, do not be greedy. Get on board as many of your friends. Okay, let me read from Injideka. Injideka says she's joining us all the way from Atlanta, USA. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We see Sarah Gift. Thank you, Sarah Gift. Thank you for sharing and, of course, encouraging us. Thank you so much. All right, we want to read from more of our change makers. And I would love for you to type in the chat box your expectations for tonight. We have so much cooked up. We have an amiable array of panelists and seasoned speakers joining us this evening, starting off from Mrs. Notch to Paul Ayomide to Doran Omesele to Deller, and as well to myself, your amiable host, and yourself joining us this evening. All right, I want to read some more reactions, read some more comments. Let's know where you're joining us from in the chat box, right? Let's know where you're joining us from. It will be exciting to read where you're joining us from, and as well as your expectations for tonight. All right, Daniela says, joining us from Nigeria. What are your expectations if you're to encapsulate your expectation into one word? What would that one word be? Pop it up in the chat box. You are a policy leader, you are a nonprofit leader, you are a change maker. Just encapsulate or capture your expectations for tonight. What are you looking forward to learning? What are you looking forward to interacting with? What aha moment do you want to step into? What sort of answers do you want to unlock tonight? I want to read from you. And we're being very intentional with how we have prepared and curated the lineup of activities for this evening's webinar. So share in the chat box. It will be exciting to read from you. Thank you, Nancy. As always, you're a member of our ecosystem, and it's indeed exciting to read from you. So again, I'm waiting to read from our guests, from our change makers in the chat box, right? Share with us your set expectations. It could be one word, right? It could be even a word that you received for the year as a policy leader or a nonprofit leader. And it's that one word that is sort of guiding how you intend to interact or engage with the specially curated activities this evening. All right. So we're waiting for more interactions. Feel free, don't be shy. And we're waiting for those pop-ups in the chat box. Whilst that is happening, you know that we are counting down days to our upcoming regional retreat, and we have some exciting news about that. And I will not let the cat out of the bag just yet because I'm keeping it in the burner. I'm going to keep it in the burner. I want us to just get into the flow of tonight's session. And of course, at the right time, we would unlock this news. So stay tuned with us. But this time, do us a great favor. Copy out the link, post it on your status, whether on WhatsApp, whether on Instagram, whether on TikTok, whatever social media platform you're interacting on. Just post it right there and have as many of your friends, fellow like-minded chain makers come on board. Right, so we're looking forward to reading from each of you. And I want to read. Nancy, share your expectation in the chat box. We're excited to read from you, and we're waiting on that. Okay. All right. So once again, okay, thank you. Yes, Daniela. Once again, we're excited, and we have so much in store, from the lineup of our speakers to the I would say the interactive session and the learnings that would come through. The learnings definitely will be very pragmatic, but very intentionally curated to speak to you and also just again provide clarity of direction as to wherever you are in your journey as a change maker. So we're excited. I believe we're doing the needful, chatting up our friends, having as many persons come on board, and being a part of tonight's conversation. All right, let's read from you as soon as possible. Don't be shy. Let's interact with you. We've seen the numbers going up, so let's know where you're joining us from in the chat box, as well as your expectations. In regard to the forthcoming retreat, we have so much in store. We have seasoned thought leaders already lined up for that retreat. We have a very specially curated curriculum, and I just do not want to announce the surprise, right? So we get to the point where it's necessary to, spring forth the surprise. But hey, we know there's so much more, and we can't wait for that. All right, Debbie says she's joining us all the way from Hungary. Exciting. So good to have you, Debbie, Julia, Tosan. Let us read from you, Debbie. What are your set expectations for tonight as a policy leader, a nonprofit leader, or a change maker? Right? All right. Excellent. Thank you, Debbie. Okay. I'm reading from Lara Osisa, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. And then we also have Itunu. All right. We want to read from you. Share with us in the chat box your expectations from tonight. All right. Share with us in the chat box your expectations for tonight. What is that one thing you're looking forward to interacting with in terms of knowledge, unlocking answers? Share it in the chat box. Debbie, we would love for you to share. Lara would love for you to share. Itunu, we would love for you to share. So pop it up in the chat box. Same thing with Teniola. Share in the chat box tonight or this evening, regardless of tonight. We're excited to read from you. All right. So let's also know if you're joining us afresh, we are on to the IJ Visioning webinar for nonprofits, policy leaders, and social innovators. And we have an array of exciting activities, right, cooked up. We have seasoned change makers sharing with us tonight. Chika says, I'm looking forward to getting more dreams and visions. Thank you, Chika Anom, for sharing. We would love to read from other chain makers who are joining in. What are your set expectations for tonight? So pop it up in the chat box. Let's read from you. Let's read from you. Okay, let's read from you in the chat box. We're excited. We're super pumped about tonight and would love to read your set expectations. All right. Okay. So I know more persons are joining in. Again, do the needful. Copy out the link, blast it on your status, have as many of your friends join in tonight. We're super excited and pumped for what is set to happen with us at tonight's webinar. Okay. All right, all right, all right. We have Mrs. Notch in the room already with us, and we're super excited. All right, let's feel the energy in the room. Mrs. Notch is present. She's already in the studio, and she is set to unleash, I would say, so much wisdom tonight. We will get into a session with her and then transition answer segment. It promises to be insightful. It promises to be life transforming. It promises to be mind blowing. And it promises to be greatly impacting. Thank you so much. I feel the energy from Nancy. Yes, 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 yes. We are excited about having Mrs. Notch in the room. Okay. So we're waiting for more of our chain makers to share in the chat box. Nancy, I've not read your expectations. Pop it up in the chat box. Let's read from you. What are you looking forward to learning tonight? What aha moment do you want to step into? Thank you, Absalom. Absalom Masendeke, joining all the way from Zimbabwe. So good to have you with us, Absalom. Let us know what your set expectations are tonight, Absalom. Pop it up in the chat box. We would love to read from you. What are you looking forward to unlocking? What sort of wisdom are you looking forward to unlocking tonight? What answers do you want to unlock? We have so much in store, and we want to be sure that your expectations match what we have prepared for tonight. Debbie says, I would love to learn the process. Debbie says, I would love to learn the process of grant applications for social impact projects and curious about Mrs. Notch's story. Debbie, you're my girl. That's why we have Mrs. Notch in the room. She's here to serve you. So definitely, you'll be gleaning into lessons from Mrs. Notch and through our expectations. Thank you for sharing, Debbie. Okay, let's read more expectations tonight just before we bring up Mrs. Notch. All right, I would love to read from you in the chat box. Keep it coming through. I want to read from Absalom. I want to read from Teniola. I want to read from Itunum. Keep it coming through in the chat box. Okay. All right. Nasi says, I was at the IHA Visionary Retreat last year and I haven't recovered from the experience. IHA really delivers the best, and I'm looking forward to the insight from the amazing panel we have today. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. You're a girl. You're a member of our ecosystem, like many others who have joined tonight and who will join or get to listen to the replay going forward. And yes, we're rooting for you. And we definitely are looking forward to having you in the room come March 6th and 7th. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. In Judaica, INDK says, I am not seeing the charts. Okay, but the charts are on the screen. Did you see the charts on the screen? It's on the screen in Judaica. So it's on the screen. And I'm sure you can see the screen. Please confirm that you can see Nancy's chart on the screen. Can you see in Judaica? It's on the screen, and I'm sure you can see it. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. Okay, Ijideka, we're waiting for your own expectations tonight. So share with us. What are you expecting tonight? What are you looking forward to interacting with? What sort of aha moment, light bulb moment do you want to unlock tonight? Okay. Thank you so much, Toby Laba. We see you representing in the chat box. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. So keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. Thank you so much. All right. Keep it coming through. We want to read from Teniola. Keep it coming through as much as possible. Excellent. Ijideka says clarity. She's looking forward to unlocking clarity. And I'm sure you can even get more explicit with that. Clarity around what? Is it clarity of vision? Is it clarity of direction? Is it clarity of purpose as a change maker or a policy leader or a nonprofit professional? What sort of clarity do you want to unlock tonight? I would love for you to expound on that a little bit. But well done, Njideka, for sharing your expectation tonight. Absalom, I'm still on your case. I would love to read from you your expectations for tonight. Same thing with Teniola. Pop it up in the chat box. We're excited to read from you your set expectations for tonight. We're super pumped. As I said, Mrs. Notch is already in the studio. I would not, or rather, we would not unveil her if we don't feel the energy marching what we have prepped. Okay, Simeon Peace, all right. Okay, I love the energy. Inudeka says all of the above. Like as I was reading it out, clarity of direction, clarity of purpose, clarity of vision. She's like, I am aligned with everything. I'm here for the full buffet. I'm not here to just have the appetizer alone, or here to have just the main, or have the dessert, or maybe settle for the main dish. No, I want to have the main dish, the appetizer, right, and the dessert. Yes, and we are here to serve you. All right. Oh, Simeon says, I'm here for clarity on policies. Excellent. We have a mix of such audience, or I would say a mix of these thought leaders who will be sharing with us tonight. We see our girl, Yuti, in the room as well. Thank you, Yuti. Keep the energy. Yes, they need to show us. They need to show us the energy. We need to feel the energy in the room tonight. Idideka says, no half measure. I love it. No half measure. Don't come for, ease or as, or, neither or. No, come for everything. And we're here to serve you a full buffet and a feast. Okay, Absalom says, I'm here to unlock complexity and new insights. Ooh, Absalom, you are in the right room. You are in the right room. We are here to serve you much more. You will not just unlock complexity, we will help you simplify complexity, whatever that looks like in your context. And you will step into new insights across your areas of impact, or even your areas of focus as a change maker. So we're here and we're rooting for you. We can see more people have joined in. We are sharing expectations tonight. Let us know where you're joining us from across the world. Of course, you know I am your amiable host, Director Toy Banja, known as DTB, and I am hosting you all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. And I would love to read from you in the chat box where you're joining us from. We've had people join us all the way from Zimbabwe, or rather, we have people joining us all the way from Zimbabwe, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, and some different parts of the world, all the way from Hungary, all the way from US as well. So keep the responses coming through. Let us know where you're joining us from, as well as your set expectations for tonight. In another few minutes, I will, or rather, the team will go ahead to unveil our very first speaker for tonight, which is no other than the impeccable and quintessential Mrs. Notch. If you've ever interacted with her, you will know why I am using these beautiful adjectives and qualities to describe her. Excellent. Simeon says she is joining us, or Simeon P says she's joining us all the way from Duse, Nigeria. Exciting. Etsia says, I can't wait to receive insight on exquisite policy making. I love it. And in as much as so much will be unlocked tonight, at CA, I also want you to make room for more insight come March, right? And we have some exciting news to unlock about that in this webinar. So I want you to keep your fingers crossed, right? Don't leave the room. And for those who already joined in, I hope you've grabbed your mug of tea, bottle of water, you have your journals just right beside you on your desk, and you are on the screen, laser focused, without external or internal distractions, right? Because in another few minutes, we will present to you our very first speaker in the person of Mrs. Notch. Mrs. Notch, I believe you're ready, because we will be going ahead to unveil you in few minutes. I love it. The team already is going drum rolls. Let me feel the energy in the chat box. How excited are you as we unveil? This is not tonight. How excited are you? Let me feel it in the chat box. Let's feel the energy. I love it. I love it. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through in the chat box. Okay? Keep it coming through. I want to feel the energy. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. Excellent. Feeling the energy from Tenny. Feeling the energy from Nancy. Feeling the energy from Etty. Yay. Love it, love it, love it. The sergeant woman is screaming her lungs out. I love it so much. Okay, let's keep it coming through. Let's keep it coming through. Okay. I can feel the energy. I feel your energy already. And we're super pumped about tonight. Okay, all righty. Let me get more reactions just before we go ahead to unveil Mrs. Notch. Okay, Precious says, joining from Kaduna, Nigeria. We love it so much. All right. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. Keep the fire emojis, whatever emojis describe your energy level tonight. Keep it coming through. Keep it coming through. We're feeling the energy. It has to be off the roof just before we would have Mrs. Notch in the room with us tonight. Okay? Keep it coming through. Debbie is going. She's using the congratulatory icon. All right? So we'll go ahead to have Mrs. Notch join us in few minutes. Okay, love it. Taiwo is applauding. That's the energy. That's the energy. Keep it coming through. That's the energy that we want to see. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. All right. So we would go ahead to present Mrs. Notch. She's already in the room with us. All right, I'm feeling the energy. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay. All right. Okay, Mrs. Notch is in the room and in the building with us. Let's feel the energy. Let's feel the energy. Hello, Mrs. Notch. How are you doing tonight? Or this morning or afternoon, as it is? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, DTV. Such a pleasure to be here.
Lovely. We're excited to have you with us right now. Okay. All right. You can feel the energy already. Everyone is pumped to have you. So let's know if you're ready to go.
I just need a minute. I'm about to shoot you an email real quick.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Mrs. Notch, give us an insight into what we're to expect from this session. All right. Everyone is already going, hi, Mrs. Notch. What are we expecting?
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. It's truly a pleasure and a delight to be here. When Ideation Hub reached out to me, especially DTB, I knew I had been cornered. Even though I was trying to escape, but I just knew I had been cornered. And it just told me something, that somebody needs whatever it is that is happening at this webinar tonight, not just for my session, but for every single session. And when DTB was introducing and she said, we have cooked up a buffet, I knew that it is totally true. The package they sent me alone and the lineup of the speakers and the panelists and everything, I know for a fact, I know as I know my name, that you will leave with all the tools that you need today. So I just want to congratulate you for being in the room. And if there's anybody you know that should be here, make sure that you have invited them. Make sure you send them the link and ask them to join. There's an energy you get when you come in live. It is totally different from what you receive when you're watching the replay. So I'm excited to be here. Congratulations. And I am ready to open my vault and share my secrets with you.
I love it. Now, look at that intro. Look at that intro for Mrs. Notch. It already speaks to the fire coming through. I must feel a reciprocating kind of energy. Else, we will just go ahead to end the stream and say, we are out of here. No, but we're not ending the stream. We're not going nowhere because we're going to unleash all that we have prepared for you tonight. Exciting. Okay, Mrs. Notch, I think you can go ahead to start from your end. Yes, let's just go on ahead. Yes. So please go ahead to start. Okay. You're muted again, Mrs. Notch, so please.
Okay. All right. So I'd like to start by sharing my story. Um, how did I go from where I was to where I am today? It's extremely important that you understand that part because many of us are probably there right now, or you're at that stage of your visionary journey. And I want to tell you that everything matters. Even your story in itself is part of your social impact journey and the work that you're doing in your community or wherever it is that you're located. I am located in Canada. I live in Ontario, Northern Ontario to be precise. And when I left Nigeria for Canada, it wasn't my intention to start a social impact enterprise. Nonprofit was not in my dreams. It was not even on my radar at all. When I got here, I saw a need for spiritual education in my community. So when we moved here, it was around the time of COVID, specifically about a month or so before the lockdown. And all the churches were closed. So nobody was going to church, nobody understood what to do. And I started by doing online Bible study classes for children in my community. That online Bible study class is what has grown to become a nonprofit today called Thriving African Families in Canada. From one thing to the other, from one stage of my visionary journey to the other, I started to unpack what God was putting in my heart and the things that He was directing me to work on. At the end of the day, we're doing the Lord's work. Social impact really is about solving wicked problems in society. And so when I saw a need for spiritual education, it is because it matters. God is concerned about those things. From Bible study classes, they started to ask me questions. They started to bring their siblings. They started to bring their parents. It became parenting. I started doing parent coaching. I had webinars, speaking engagements. I produced digital products just to teach families about parenting. And over time, I started to see that the vision was actually becoming clearer and more refined. And I needed support, I needed help to unpack it. I'd been following DDK for a while, and I had gone through Unbundling DDK program. If you haven't gotten Unbundling, I highly recommend you purchase it from Immerse. I know it's on seller. And from Unbundling, I started to unpack different dimensions of my visionary journey. I released my first book. I wrote and launched my first book, continued to do webinars and all of that. I did a lot of writing that year. That was the year that I journaled heavily all the thoughts that were in my heart. I knew I wanted to do something for youth, to mentor them, to give them the skills that they need to succeed in the future. Because from Bible study classes, I started to see that they were struggling with things like time management, purpose, all of those things. So I would do a master class. I remember every January I would do a goal setting and productivity masterclass for teens in my community, just online with the tools I had. I knew how to use Canva. I started doing all of those things. I'm explaining this so you understand that there are different levels of a visionary journey and you will need different things at different times. You have to be committed to doing what it takes to getting to becoming that next level of who you are evolving to be. And so I did unbundling, and after unbundling, I started to see that there was more. There really was more. I was seeing so many things. My heart was heavy with instruction and direction. I saw many problems in the society, and I started to ask questions. How can this be? How can this be solved? What can I do? What will happen if this changes? What is my ideal world? What is my ideal society? And I started to write. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote series upon journals. I have 19 journals in my home office, 19 journals on different areas of my life and visionary journey. And so by the time we got to 2024, I believe, I knew I needed to do more. Now, backtrack to 2023 Visioning Retreat. Immerse was selling Visioning Summit, actually, the year they started Visioning Summit. And I know I attended Visioning Summit, and I put a comment in the chat box and I said, my heart is telling me that I need to do something social impact, but I don't know what it is. And I'm not sure if I should attend Visioning Retreat by Ideation Hub, but I also want to attend the regular Visioning Retreat with Immerse. And DDK responded directly to that comment in the chat and said, do both. And I thought, my goodness, do both? That's going to cost a lot of money. You know what? I paid for both Visionary Retreat and Visionary Retreat nonprofit. And I entered Ideation Hub. That same year, I joined Visionary Compass Accelerator Program. So I joined VCAP, and VCAP helped me clarify my vision. I now understood what I was to birth. Now I knew it was thriving African families. Before, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something for the youth and all of that. Everything came together by the time I did VCAP, and I knew what I was working on. And so we launched Thriving African Families in August of 2024, where a few months old. We're not yet 2 years old yet. We'll be 2 years in August. And it has been an amazing journey. How did I go from Bible study teacher to being funded to the tune of almost $400,000 in Canada? I had no previous nonprofit experience. I had not worked in any NGO. I knew nothing about what I was doing. Everything that I've been able to do, I learned on my journey with the tools that I got from places like VCAP and Ideation Hub. So today I'm here to give back. Today I'm here to redeem my pledge and to give back to the system that has nurtured me into a social innovator today and a change maker. Wherever you are at your journey, all of the things that you will get today, they are for you and they will serve you. So I'm going to share with you first 10 ways that you can accelerate your social impact or your social innovation journey. For some reason, okay, yeah, I don't know why that is. Maybe when I downloaded it was different. Give me a moment, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We are super pumped already with the preamble from Mrs. Notch. We're set for a ride. Aren't it so? It is so. I trust it is so. Thank you, Mrs. Notch, for that powerful preamble. And I'm just sitting on my edge and just waiting for you to unlock it. All right.
Thank you, DTV.
Right.
So based on what I have shared earlier on, talk to me about which portion of everything I've shared resonates with you personally in your journey. So put it in the chat box. I want to see which part resonates with you the most. We've set our expectation. Now we're going to talk. I'm really handing you the tools, nothing over the top of your head, nothing confusing. We're getting right into it, the crux of the matter. And after that, there'll be a Q&A. I want you to ask me your deepest questions. There's no right or wrong answer. Ask me your deepest questions because I've been there. I've walked the path, or the path rather, and lived the path literally. So I understand a lot of everything that you're probably going through, but I need you to put that expectation there, put those thoughts there, put what resonates with you in the comment section. Let's read it and shape this conversation together so that you squeeze the juice out of this session. Okay, you want to know how I've been able to raise funds? I will share that with you. From Bible study teacher to having a funded NGO, well-funded for that matter, with multi-year grants. We have grants across foundations, across provincial, municipal government, and now we just got a federal grant this week. So there's another 25,000 added on top of that as well. We're very close to hitting 400,000 mark right now, and we're less than 2 years old. There is no consultant that I have worked with that hasn't said, I don't understand your budget. I look at your financial statements and I'm thinking, how is this possible? I know how it's possible. They don't know, but I know. I understand what is going on because we're on assignment. And even though you are anointed and you are appointed, you still have to be aligned. You still have to be aligned and gain the tools that you need. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated in the field. You put a lot of work into it and you may not see results. Okay, thank you for your comments so far. I will get right into it with number one. The first thing that will accelerate your social impact journey is clarity. Your vision has to be clear, crystal clear. That is what VCAP did for me. So in VCAP, I moved through 3 mastery levels in 1 year, from clarify to launch to build in 1 year. I had to keep clarifying my vision again and again and again. I spent 3 months in clarify. DDK made us clarify our vision for a full 90 days. When we started, I thought it was ridiculous. But by the time we started to do the work, I realized that I needed to go back again and again and again. So the first draft that you write is not the final draft. You will have to refine your vision again and again and again and again. And by the time we got to, I think, month 6 or so of Visionary Compass, I had to go back and even clarify the vision again. So I had seen better than what I saw the first instance or the first time we started working on it. So it's important that you clarify your vision. A clear vision is what attracts partners to you, because as a founder and a visionary, nobody can see your mind. It is what you write and put out there that lets the coefficient of your work gravitate towards you or recognize you or acknowledge you or fund you. If your vision is not clear, your funders are confused, your ideal client is confused, your target audience is confused, everybody watching you is confused, because intentions are not enough in social impact. It's great, it's a starting point, it's a trigger, but it's not enough. Your vision needs to be clear. Your vision also needs to be aligned with who you are. By the time we go into breaking down what we got funding for at Thriving African Families, you will understand how aligned it is with my core. So when God called me to do parenting and to work in family systems, what I do has not changed with every new grant. In fact, it is driving me closer towards my inner compass. You must be aligned. Otherwise, there'll be friction. Otherwise, they'll be distracted. You can't follow the money. Grants come from different directions based on the funder's priorities. You can't follow that. You follow the vision and you align it with the opportunities that are available to fund the work. I hope somebody got that. Tell me if you got that. You follow the vision, not the money. Tell me if you got that in the chat box. And your writing, your scribing in the comment section is also helping your revelation and your understanding and your illumination. So you follow the vision. Your vision has to be clear. So not today that you see that women empowerment is what is reigning, is what is trending. Then you change your vision from family services to women services to women empowerment. No, your vision has to be so clear that when there's a deviation, you can tell. You can absolutely tell. Your clear vision is what proves to funders that you can do the work. Because when you start out, you don't have the proof yet. You are still starting, you're still building. So you cannot say we have trained 25 people, we have trained 500 people, we have trained 5,000 people. You don't have that yet. You're still working on it. It is the clarity of your vision that gives the funders a nod. I've seen it happen over and over again to me in Thriving African Families. Because my vision was clear, it was easy for people to believe. It was easy to attract volunteers. It was easy to even build the board of directors to start with in the first place. Because if you don't have a clear vision, people don't understand how they're following you. They don't understand. What are you doing? What exactly are you doing? And the more people ask you, what exactly are you doing? Please go back and check your vision again, because that means it's not clear to the people that are on the other side. Okay. Then clarity gives you speed when you're making decisions. For example, there are many opportunities that we get now in Thriving African Families. Because our vision is so clear, I can tell whether it is a dump, deny, defer, or delegate. If it's something that we are doing, it is clear that we're doing it. If we're not doing it, know whether we're dumping it, we are denying it, we are deferring it, or we're delegating it. So maybe we may be referring them to somebody else or to another agency that serves that purpose. Your vision has to be that clear. It helps you make swift decisions, even in hiring when you start to recruit people. So our team has grown from just me, only me, unpaid, to 6 team members who are paid. 6 paid staff is what we have now. And when I'm hiring, when I'm recruiting, when I'm interviewing, I can tell who my people are because the vision is clear. So number 1, your vision has to be clear. Let's move to number 2. And I hope you're still with me. Okay, number 2 is languaging. Changemakers, please pray for languaging. Pray for languaging. No matter what you do, your ideas are great. They are divinely inspired. They're going to change the world. If you're not speaking the right language, nobody will pay attention. You have to speak the right impact language. So you have to move from doing passion projects to actually being charitable. There's charitable language. There is a way charitable organizations speak in your social media content, in your website copywriting. Your languaging has to be aligned with your industry and with outcomes. Funders fund outcomes, not feel good projects. They actually fund outcomes. What is the social benefit, the social impact of what you're doing? What is the value? That's what they want to fund. Oh, I'm very passionate. I love working with families. I love working with whatever it is that yours is. So I'll use families as an example because that is my mountain of influence. I love working with families. In fact, I've been supporting families in communities since 2020 when I moved to Canada and all of that. Yes, that's great. That's amazing. But you're not speaking the right language. You have to learn languaging. Learn the right language. If you have to go back to school to get that language in, please do. Take courses, take trainings, come to Ideation Hub, purchase their courses so you understand the language of social impact. Your outcomes and activities have to be clearly languaged as well. So when people come to your program, what are they going to experience? You have to tell us before we come. We can't just come because we know you and we like you. You have to speak the language of pain points, problems in the society. That's the language you have to speak. Then your evidence and your passion. A lot of times as change makers, we do work based on our passion, but we don't document the evidence. I'll give you an example. When I started Bible study classes online, I didn't count the number of people who attended. I didn't record the topics that we covered to a large extent. So I didn't document the journey. So I found that I had done that in the community for about 2 to 3 years, and there were people who did far less that were getting recognition, awards, funding, and all of that because they documented it. And the first time I decided to even document the number of hours that I was putting into serving in the community, I realized that I had put in over 400 volunteer hours. That is remarkable. You have to have the evidence to back up your passion. Otherwise, you are just running a passion project, not social impact, not a social impact organization. The next one is your systems and charity. I've touched on that. Your systems have to be aligned with being a charitable organization, not just what you like, not just what you're passionate about. So, for example, in my languaging, I don't say Bible study teacher. I don't say I teach Bible study. I teach spiritual education. That is the language of the industry. It's the language of the Chaldeans. It's in the Bible, in the book of Daniel. I teach spiritual education. There's nobody that hears spiritual education that even if they are atheists, they're not going to be annoyed. They're not going to be angry. Funders fund spiritual education. That's the right language, all right? Build the systems that make you a charitable organization, not just a feel-good project or a passion project. Where are your documents saved? Do you even have them organized in a Google Drive? If I ask you what happened in your program that you did for children in a remote school 2 years ago, can you produce the email that you sent to the principal? Can you produce the curriculum that you delivered in that place? Your documents have to be aligned, they have to be easily traced, they have to be organized so that when your team members change or when you need to generate impact reports, annual reports, and those things, you're not scrambling for your data. Your systems also have to be sustainable. Think future. Don't just get help for today. Think of your exit strategy. How are you going to build the work such that when you leave it, it will outlive you? Build it to last. Build it beyond you. Build it to live it. Build it to sell it. I met with a mentor a few days ago on Wednesday, to be precise. She's 70. I am turning 40 this year. So she's 30 years ahead of me. And she said, at this point, I'm divesting. I'm selling my signature trademarked intellectual property. I'm selling my courses because now I'm writing books till I die. And I was just looking at her like, my goodness, this is my future. This is future. I'm building it to live it. I have my exit strategy. I'm not going to be executive director of Thriving African Families forever. No, because there's also so many other things that I have to do with my life. I'm not going to build it such that when anything happens to me or when I leave, things come crashing down. And also think about equity and inclusion. As people who are located in Africa, equity is important. That's what's important to funders. Think about the SDGs. You should know the SDGs. You should have them up on your wall. You should have them as your screensaver. You should know what the SDGs are and which of the SDGs all your programs align to. If they are not, again, you're just running a passion project. And then your vocabulary must be scalable. You must speak the kind of vocabulary that if we come back and look at you in 5 years' time, your programs are still relevant. Okay? They can evolve, but they have to still be relevant. Number 3. Leverage media. My goodness. Media is powerful. When you Google Thriving African Families or you Google Mrs. Notch, all the things you will see is media. You have to leverage media, including your social media. It gives you visibility. It documents your impact and it builds trust. So when we started, we didn't have, because I wasn't documenting when I was doing grassroots community service, I didn't have real pictures of our gatherings or our programs. So I had to rely on stock photos that you find on Canva or any platform where you get free stock photos. But we used social media so well that people will scroll through our timeline, our feed, and they will say, my goodness, this organization looks like they're 10 years old. Somebody actually said that to me. You look like you've been doing this for 10 years. I said, well, not that long. But because of the way we were intentional about our digital footprint, we were able to leverage media to build trust and credibility where the numbers did not exist yet. So even before our first 2 or 3 grants, we made sure that we looked great on social media, look like the money you're asking for. If you're asking for a grant of $1 million and you don't even have a website, you can't get it. It's not possible. You have to invest first to build that credibility, and media is a powerful way to do so. So find ways to get your work published, find ways to get on radio, find ways to get on TV. Use, at the very least, social media is free. Use that one first. Use it very well. Make sure you have a website. The website we have for Thriving African Families currently, I built it myself. And I'm not techie at all. But when DDK started teaching us, I'm a tech sis. I said, there's nothing I cannot learn. I will learn this thing. I actually built our website on Canva. Yes, it's a Canva website till this day. Almost 400,000 in funding. It's a Canva website. It's not that we're building the kind of website that we truly desired. Because that was what I had. Those were the tools that I had. Use it to build your funder confidence and use it to gain the narrative. So we were able to command that attention, show that we are serious about supporting families, show that this is our work and we're good at it by leveraging media. Whenever we got the opportunity to send our work to journalists, I would send it. Whenever you get the opportunity to be spotlighted, to be featured, take it. Don't be shy. What are you shy for? Send your picture, write your bio, send it to them. All these things are giving you visibility and credibility. You are leveraging media. So Ideation Hub has a webinar today. They put my picture on the flyer. I will share it because it's helping my ministry. It's helping my work. I'm leveraging media that way. And make sure your graphics are compelling. Invest in a good graphics design platform, or you hire a graphics designer. You don't have to do everything yourself as a founder. You can hire somebody to do so. Make sure that you present yourself excellently. It always works, I'm telling you. Number 4, start with microgrants. So as a social innovator, you have to understand that proof and credibility is built. Don't start applying for $1 million. Excuse me. Why would we give you $1 million if we cannot see the impact that you have done so far? Start with microgrants. Our first grant was $5,000. $5,000. The next one after that was $2,900. You see that $2,900 grant? I was frustrated when I was writing it because the questions they were asking me was more than the money they wanted to give. And I was wondering, what kind of wahala is this? But because it was a municipal grant, which means a government grant, but the state government. So when you say, maybe if you live in Nigeria, Lagos State government grant, Lagos State government is good to have as a funder. Having that stamp on your work is solid. It inspires confidence of other funders. So I saw that it was a wonderful grant. The funder was credible and strong and will help us. So I had to sacrifice and write it, even though it was $2,900. Guess what? The next grant I applied for after that was $30,000. I noticed that, and I applied within about a month apart. By the time I was applying for the $30,000 grant, do you know that it was the same questions as the 2,900 asked me that they were asking me for 30,000? I'm telling you, 10 times more. Same effort. It was so easy to write that grant because I'd done it before. Now I knew why I went through the process of applying for 2,900. Because if you cannot apply for 2,900, you cannot apply for 30,000. And when we got that $30,000 grant, I was told by the funder that they had over 1,200 applications and they only chose 171. And we were among the 171. We were less than 6 months old at that time. So you build your muscle by applying for microgrants. So when you see $500, 1,000, apply. Sometimes the same funder will even have higher grants and they will invite you when you have put in the work for that one and they like your work. You've accounted, so you've managed 500, then you can manage 5,000. But if you haven't managed 5,000, you can't manage 500,000. When we send you the money, you may go on vacation. You may use it for something, you won't even understand all the systems we're talking about. Okay, so start with micro grants, build your muscle, create your proof of concept with your small projects and micro grants. Minimize your risk because the money is still small, so it's easy to, if you fail, it's easier to forgive you than if you fumble with bigger amounts. And then refine your programs. So when you do micro grants, it helps you to refine your programs because the money is small. You can evaluate, you can think about it, test your ideas, tweak it, refine it, keep building it. All right. And then, of course, your financial stewardship comes in there. If you can manage small amounts, definitely, even the Bible says so. If you're faithful in little, more will be given to you. And it always unlocks other funding. Number 5, I love your comments. Please keep them coming. It shows me that you're with me and you're understanding. Strategic partnerships have helped us. So our biggest leap was $300,000 grant, and we needed to partner with an organizational mentor to get that. I'll discuss that later. You have to have strategic not just partnerships. So you're not just partnering with your friends or your pastor or your pastor's wife. You are partnering with organizations that are bigger than you. 1, 2, organizations that their work is aligned with yours. 3, organizations that have credibility and social proof already. 4, organizations that can endorse you. Their endorsement actually moves you forward. So if they post you on their page, it increases your SEO, your search engine optimization. It increases your trust and credibility. People believe you better. People trust you more because so and so organization posted you on their page or they reshared your post. All right. Those are the kind of organizations you partner with. And 5, you partner with organizations that you are aligned. All right. When you're aligned in your values, you can partner. You don't have to be aligned in your work. So the organization that partnered with us to help us get the Family Innovations grant of $300,000 for 3 years is in employment services. Employment and family, they are not the same. You have to look for organizations that can partner with you. And you get that by building relationships. You must build relationships. Actually, before funding comes relationships. So partner with them, borrow their credibility, expand your reach. You're just starting. Nobody knows you. They have 2,000 followers on their page. Please partner with them. They say they want to spotlight you. Be spotlighted because you're expanding your reach. Now, those 2,000 people can now see you. You can't get those 2,000 people on your own. You still have 22 followers, or you're just starting your page, or your website is new. All right. It makes you look more legitimate. And then when you're writing proposals, when you have those, every single partnership you have in a proposal, it boosts your rating when they are reviewing your grant. It just keeps jumping you up the table. The more strong partnerships you have, the funder believes that you can execute this well because they can see the people that you have come together with. It always works. Of course, it accelerates your scale. One thing we have enjoyed in Thriving African Families is acceleration, and strategic partnerships is one of my biggest secrets. Next slide. You have to get the foundation right. So oftentimes you start with passion, you start with calling and prayer, yes, but you have to build it right. You must have a board of directors, and the board cannot be your relatives. You have to be at arm's length. It can't be your mother, your brother, your husband. No, you have to be unrelated. When you're choosing your board directors, don't choose people that emotionally. No, it is based on skills. There is a board skills matrix. Build it. I built a board skills matrix for Thriving African Families. I did it. Nobody on our board is my friend. We are not friends. We are still not friends. We work together, but we are not friends. Friendship is a different relationship archetype. Understand that clearly, that when it comes to governance, you need people that have the mind and the skill to move your work forward. So, for example, maybe as a founder, accounting and bookkeeping is not your strength. Every board must have an accountant. A licensed, certified financial person must be on your board. Find them. All right. Somebody that has legal knowledge, somebody that has grassroots knowledge, somebody that has connections that can improve your work. Those are the people you put on your board, not just because they are pretty or because they have something big going. No, you have to get the foundation right. Keep your receipts. Keep details of everything you spend, even when you are using your own money. That was one of the mistakes I made. All the work that I'd been doing in the community before, maybe you host a program for youth or for children, you buy refreshments, you buy program materials, pencils, pens, and all those things. I wasn't keeping the receipts. I wasn't even documenting how much I was spending. So when we started and they asked me, what is your startup capital? Zero answer. Mrs. Notch did not know because I did not document it. How much did you spend on your program last year? I don't know. I shall know that I got salary and I took some money from it and I spent it on the program. Banana, nobody will fund that. You have to know, you have to have your numbers, you have to have everything written down even before you get the big funding. So I had to sit and write that. Make sure that I keep an account of every single thing that was coming in and was going out and what it was for. You should have all those things. Use simple tools like Google Sheets, Google Suite. You don't have to pay for a software for that. Just simple Excel. Venue, so place, date, so and so place, amount. This is the budget. We bought fabrics for uniforms for children. So. We bought this amount. We bought this amount. Even put your vendor there and the link to your vendor so that next time you come around and you do that project or you do that program, you're not thinking again, was it Mrs. Not Invited or DTB? No, everything is clear. Have systems and structures. Use organized systems. Use drives. Google Drives are still an excellent way to do things. Use Canva. Use free softwares and free tools. There's even Canva for non-profit, right? So you won't have to pay. Leverage systems and structures to build well. Get the right people that are aligned with your mission. So when people join our organization, the first 4 weeks, I'm teaching you vision, mission, values, strategic plan, and programs. That's what I'm teaching you. Before you even enter programs, I have to make sure that you can repeat the vision of thriving African families off the top of your head. You know our values, you know our mission, you can break it down because that is what feeds into our programs and our programs delivery and our funding and our strategic relationships. So for example, if you understand that as an organization, we're big on culture, if something is culture inclined, you will know that I will approve that as ED. Most likely, I will take a look at it, we'll have a conversation about it. So when staff are not aligned with your vision, even volunteers, if they are not aligned with the vision of the organization, you will run into trouble with them. Build your organizational culture from now. What kind of boss, what kind of leader do you want to be? Be a human-centered leader. The resources are here for you in Ideation Hub or in Immerse. Get them. Learn the kind of leader you want to be. Are you the kind of leader that when you talk, people feel like committing suicide? Or when you talk, people want to resign? You will have to work on yourself and get those things done. How are you when you're under pressure? Because social impact will put you under pressure. Financial pressure, emotional pressure, mental pressure. How do you behave when you're like that? What kind of boss are you? Are you a toxic boss? Round the clock, you expect people to be reading your emails and answering your email. You build those things from the beginning. Your branding has to be tight. You should have a logo and a good one. You should have colors. Follow that. The slides that I built today, I aligned with Ideation Hub's branding. I didn't use purple. I didn't use green. Right? Branding is a thing. Learn it. Do your logo. Understand the different elements of your branding, your icon, your flag, your favicon, your typography, your fonts, your lexicon, the words that you use. There are certain words you should use as an organization. There are certain words that your competition uses that you should know you should not use. Understand branding. Go and do some research and study about it because when you start, you will not have the money to hire a consultant. Do you know I learned branding so well that by the time we got our first logo, I designed it myself. By the time we got a consultant to redo our logo, so we did the rebranding and all of that. By the time we finished working on the project, the consultant gave me a huge discount and said, Mrs. Notch, you actually did this work. I was just following your directions. You understood what you had so much clarity and understanding of branding. Branding is powerful. It imprints, it gives you mind share in the heart of your client or your ideal customer. So the consistent use of orange, the consistent use of your colors, your logos, your shapes, your icons, the type of pictures that you put on your social media. Everybody that works with me on my team knows that you cannot publish any picture. You can't even send it to me for approval. When the picture is showing Africans that are impoverished, that are suffering, that are dying, that are dry, no, that does not align with our brand archetype. Your brand has a voice. Your organization has a voice. There's a way you sound. There's a way you write for me that you will be having a one-on-one session with me because you clearly don't understand copywriting and our organizational voice. And all these things are written down. So when you join the organization newly, I send you an onboarding package that has all these things. You read them and you understand them. And how you market yourself matters. So people think because you're social impact, the work will speak for itself. No, actually, it will not. You control the narrative. How are you marketing things? How are you communicating about your organization, your vision, your programs, your work? It has to be intentional and it has to be tight. Next one. Thank you. And I hope that you're still with me. I love your comments and everything that you said you are getting from it. I told you that I will open my vault and share my secrets with you today. Social listening is extremely important. You have to have the ability to do your research simply online. Understanding industry practices, innovation, and what is happening in your field. Do you know what the SDGs are? Do you know when they rebranded and changed their logo? Do you know what United Nations is talking about now? Do you know how your work fits into the ecosystem of global social impact? You have to know those things. If not, you cannot extract innovation. You will just repeat what already exists. You will not see gaps. Train your eyes to see gaps by studying the terrain and understanding what is happening in the industry, in the world, in your country. Wherever you are sent, you have to know what is going on there. Engage well, follow the right organizations so that when you are asking for funding, it will even change your languaging if you get this right. When you're asking for funding, you know the type of things that usually get funded. You know how they sound. You know how they write it. When you do good social listening, that's good. Number 8, 3 more to go. Oh, social listening number 8. Okay, next one. Thank you. Your network and your digital presence. How are you networking, dear changemaker? You can't be sitting in your house. You are not engaged. You will not come for Ideation Hub's programs. They will do physical events. You say, no, online is cheaper. You stay online. How are you going to meet with other change makers? How are you meeting with, connecting with people that are going to change your life, change your work, amplify your work? I go out for events. I go out. I attend events. In fact, at a point, some people said, Mrs. Notch is everywhere, but I wasn't really everywhere. But they said I was everywhere because they were seeing me in the places that mattered. So there's a gala going on, there's a dinner going on, and I know that funders are going to be in the room. There was a gala that I attended 2 years ago, 2 Novembers ago. It's called the Sudbury Multicultural Gala in my city. And first of all, when you attend those events, you literally might need to change your wardrobe as a change maker. If you are wearing torn singlets and you're asking for funding of $1,000, honestly, you will not even get 100 because you don't look like you can manage the money you're asking for. So I don't take it easy at all when I'm networking. I pull out all the guns. I look solid. By the time I walk into the room, the way I look is already going to attract your attention. So I bought a ticket. It was the most expensive ticket I had bought for a gala. Not so much, but it was more expensive than others. When I bought the ticket, I was even grumbling to say, do I need to go for this one? I beg. Eventually, I went. Do you know that when I got in there, I went to say hello to somebody that I know. And she said, oh, hi, Mrs. Notch, here is my boss, so and so person. And he said, and she introduced me to the boss. And the boss said, oh, hello, I've been waiting for an opportunity to meet with you. Tell me more about the organization that you're running because I saw it on LinkedIn and I'm trying to understand how our work fits with yours. If you don't hear anything today, as a change maker, as a social innovator, always be pitch ready. Your elevator pitch has to be ready. You have to be able to drop into it when they wake you up from sleep. Unprepared in the washroom because you seal some deals when you are easing yourself. You meet somebody and you smile at each other and the person says, hello, hi, I like your hair, I like your glasses. From there, we have sealed the deal for $5,000, $10,000 before the person will even send me the link to apply. It has already been done. I had to deliver an elevator pitch there and then, unprepared. I did not know that this man was sitting on, he's the head of an organization that gives funding to so many people in our community. And he said he had been watching what I was saying on LinkedIn, what I was posting. And then he said, one day I'll jam this lady and I'll ask her directly. So I had to pitch there and then. What I said determined his next answer. He said, in that case, we can help you. He now turned to the person that introduced me to say, send her the link to apply for funding. This link is not on their website. It's not there. I was like, because I went back to look for it, to search for the grants that he spoke about. It wasn't listed. It was not published. From that elevator pitch, he gave me permission to apply. In fact, I was one doing shakara for them last. I later did not apply because I said I didn't want it because we weren't ready for it at that time. It's a one-time grant, and it's kind of grant that if you take it and you scale and you crash, you'll be in trouble, and you can only apply for it once and for all. So I told them, don't worry, not yet. Hold on first, I'm coming. So that when I come, I'll ask you for double of that money and I'll use it wisely. So your networking and your digital presence matters. That's why I put them together, because some of us do a great job of digital presence, but you don't go anywhere. You don't participate in anything. They say they're doing Tony Elumelu something, and I'm not marketing for them, by the way. Or Ibuku Awoshika is doing something, TFD. People that matter to the work that you are doing. Your forerunners, the people that have gone ahead of you, they are doing a masterclass. So you be there, be in front, pay. My friends and I, we call it premium Gary. If you have to defer some kind of gratification that you can attend that, please do, because the people you meet in the room will change the game for you. And the final one, grant writing, which is what a lot of people, and I saved this for last because all of the things before this, they precede the actual grant writing. If you've not aligned, your grant is only as good as your alignment with the priorities of the funder. If you are not aligned with the funder's priority, you can't get it. Grants are actually graded, they are marked. They allot you points based on the answers you give to all the things they're asking you for. And they're checking that against their own rubric and their own matrix. If you haven't aligned with their priorities, you can't get it. If you haven't framed your impact clearly, how is this really going to change lives? You said you need $500,000 to empower women in entrepreneurship. Okay, so how is this really going to, what's it going to do? But instead, if you say, give us $500,000 and we will train 800 women to start their own businesses by 2028. Now that's impact framing. I will fund you for that, right? You also have to demonstrate your capacity. So all those passion projects that you're doing now, I hope you are taking quality pictures and you are posting and sharing it. Because if you cannot gather 10 people, you can't gather 100. Demonstrate that you can actually do this work. Present your budget well. Make sure the things that you put in your grants are eligible. Many grants get turned back or refused or declined because the thing they're asking for is an ineligible. So the funder doesn't want to pay for that. I have some funders that don't want to pay for transportation, but they want you to deliver the program. Is it magic? Well, if you go and put transportation in that kind of grant, they will not even answer you. So you have to figure out a way to make sure you are consistently aligned with their priorities and tell a story. Always tell a story. I did it at the beginning of this class. I started with my story. I told you my story. Tell a story, because evidence without storytelling is not compelling. Evidence without storytelling is not compelling. It will not turn the wallets of your funder at all. So I hope that this has truly helped you, and it's a precursor for what is to come for the rest of this session. Thank you, DTV. DTV, you're muted, ma'am.
Thank you. Wow. I said it, didn't I? Didn't I? Mrs. Notch came with the fire. Wow. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Notch. What a session. What a story. Now share in the chat box what stood out significantly for you from all that Mrs. Notch has shared thus far. What stands out? What did you hear? I want to be sure that you were following this session, and I must feel the energy, right? We are about to raise the momentum to the next level, right? We're getting into a Q&A segment, and when DTB asks very brilliant questions, and we're about to milk some depths of wisdom from Mrs. Notch. But how would you describe the session, and what has stood out for you significantly? All right. Lovely. Okay. I'm seeing tons of messages. Okay. What stood out for me was be pitch ready. I love it. Okay. What stood out for me, I'm reading more. I can't stop listening. It was such a captivating session. Yes, I said it. She's impeccable. All right. Taiwo says, okay. Debbie says, I love how real she was about the journey and the instruction to record everything. I love it. I love it. Yes. Precious says, I add, think long term. Think and plan long term. I love it. Debbie says, I went to our website as well, and I see that I can use Canva. I don't need to wait for things to be perfect. Go, girl. That's it. Right? And I love what Mrs. Notch said. Okay, and I'll come to that. Yes, Oyedemola says, document your process, have data at hand, share online, take your work seriously from the start. Don't wait. Absalom says, so many messages are coming at a go. Absalom says, sure evidence without storytelling is compelling. All right. Ision says it was a lot of information, but I think the foundation, vision casting, building governance, and documenting what has already been done, no matter how small. You are a real coach, Mrs. Notch. Thank you. Yes, she is. Lovely. And there's still so much to unpack. We'll get into it. Amaka says, evidence without storytelling is not compelling. Exactly. And Okwemi says, what stood out for me is to document well. Thank you for sharing this far. Lovely, powerful insight. And I'm sure there's so much more you have documented in your journals. And let me take a final one from Nancy. Then I'll share a few things in a bit. So Nancy says, one very important thing which I have been curious about is language. And I love when Mrs. Notch mentioned that if you are not speaking the right language, no one will pay attention. I love it. Thank you again, Mrs. Notch. And I said we're about to take it what? To raise the momentum to the next level. Because we'll get into a Q&A segment. And the purpose of Q&As is that just like I think it was Absalom highlighting that, oh, it looks like there was a lot of information. All right, no worries. Whatever you think you may have missed in the full session, when we get into Q&A, she can bring it home. Do you understand it? And now we would even bring it home to a core purpose of why we are gathered this evening, right? You heard when Mrs. Knott started her story, and she said she didn't walk this journey alone. Right? You saw her mentioning communities. She mentioned the MERS, mentioned VCAP, and of course, IdeationHubAfrica. And she paid it forward. You can see she's running a nonprofit and went to get schooling. What we call, she went to get niche schooling in that industry. And she paid for it. I even love when she said she had to pay for a high ticket event. Right? It wasn't so expensive, but it was expensive for her. For some of you, signing up for the retreat will literally look like high ticket. That's the visioning retreat. But you have to pay it forward. Don't just go after free stuff. We are offering you the visioning webinar absolutely free. But we have what? A premium. You heard how Mrs. Knott described it. Premium Gary. Right? We have it. That's what we call our package. Premium Gary for you, which is the IHA Visioning Retreat. You get to sit in the room with DDK. Anybody that knows DDK, let me just drop the mic and go home, right? I don't need to say too much. Thank God Nancy is here. She started off saying she was here last year, and she's a part of what? The webinar. And she's definitely going to be in the room in the retreat. Now, let me add a little icing. Mrs. Notch was one of our early registrants for the visionary retreat. The moment we opened up, trust now, where she's drinking from, right? The source, she paid it forward. Let me just stop at that, right? Because we have some great news about the retreat in a bit, and I will unlock it just before we get into the next segment. We have I would say, high tier, we have a high impact panel session. We have the likes of, you have listened to Mrs. Notch. You can see the fire. We have fire bringers, I would say fire shakers, like Mrs. Notch, in the person of Doreen Obosele, Della Abayomi, Paul Ayomide. They will be joining us for a panel session. And they are all members of our ecosystem, just like Mrs. Notch, who have gone through the ropes and continue to pay it forward by investing in the executive education programs at IdeationHubAfrica. So thank you once again, Mrs. Notch. What a session. Now, let me just take a few questions. Again, if you have specialized questions for her, we are taking on a Q&A. Pop it up in the chat box, and of course, we'll be excited to share that question and have Mrs. Notch speak to it. Okay, so Mrs. Notch, I have a few questions. So you shared your story so powerfully, and I would say in such a mesmerizing way. And I love how you told the story. Someone said they couldn't even believe that you started out as a Bible school teacher, and see how you recrafted your positioning, going from that journey of And you're still much grounded in your spiritual anchor and vision as an organization and as a brand. But there is just a languaging you have understood, right? So I want you to speak to us. I just want you to, again, I know you've touched on it a little, but I want to tie the connecting dots to the visionary retreat and to IHA program, right? Or IHA programs. What was your reality before the visionary retreat? I know you shared this with me, but I want you to drum it home. Let people know what was the reality before the visionary retreat and other IHA programs. And when you began to get into our ecosystem, get on board our programs, right? How did you begin to work on that vision? And how did you envision scaling your work globally?
DDK, DTP, you asked such powerful questions, just like DDK. My reality before these programs, and specifically, I'm referring to the programs at Immerse and Visionary Compass and Ideation Hub. And that was my journey. That was actually my trajectory through everything. Because really, you can't be in Ideation Hub if you have not mastered some small things in your life. Everything will come crashing down. So I really went through the journey. And at that time, by the way, I had just delivered our second child. So I remember when I signed up for Unbundling the Decade, I didn't even have the money. I was 5 months into moving in Canada, no money, no job, no nothing. I was carrying my new baby on my shoulder and looking out the window and looking at the snow as it was falling and thinking, this is how my life is going to be. I don't even know what I want to do in my life. And God told me, sign up for Unbundling the Decade. I said, $500. I don't have that kind of money. Well, like, this is a single income household right now. And we are new immigrants. How will I tell my husband I want to go for a $500 course? Are you serious right now? And what I just heard was, just get ready because they might have a scholarship. And I got ready. And indeed, they had a scholarship. I applied and I got a free scholarship. So I got a free ride to Unbundling, actually. And by the time I was going to VCAP as well, I don't think I got a discount. Okay, I did get a discount for VCAP. And anyway, that's another story. But my reality before was that I didn't have money. I didn't even have direction on what I was going to do with my life, career-wise. Let's not even talk about impact-wise. But these programs unlocked those things from the depths of my bowels. You need a midwifery system. You can't do it on your own. I'm not joking. There's no excellent person. There's nobody you admire. There's nobody that is doing remarkable work in the world today that flew solo. They will tell you there was a coach, there was a program. I went back to school. I went back to do this. They always invested in themselves. Sometimes those investments may be a scholarship. Be very careful of free things though. Scholarship is different from free. Free is designed to be a lead magnet. It's drawing you into something and it's not going to give you enough substance to catalyze that transformation you need. I hope you got that. That's what free things are for. All those multiple emails you are receiving in your mailbox that you are subscribed to, you cannot birth anything from there. It's just to draw you in. The real transformation lies behind your payment details. I'm telling you, the day I discovered that, I stopped going after all those free things and started to ask, what will it take to get on this program? What will it take to get on this program? Do I need to apply for a scholarship? Maybe I need to sit down and write my story, justify why I want to be in here. Maybe I need to get a partial scholarship. Can I cough out half of the money? Maybe I need a payment plan. Can I pay small? When I did VCAP, I paid small. I emailed DDK to say, Mama, I'm interested, but the ground no level right now to that level. But I know that this is my next and I need it now. What can I do? There are some programs that I apply for that I trade my gifts. I'm an excellent speaker and event host. For some of them, I will host for you as payment for my for my program. It's part of it. What would it take to get me what I need to unlock this next level of myself? That was my reality before. So don't think that maybe she lives in Canada. No, I was new in Canada. We didn't have money. There was nothing. We're trying to figure everything out too. Plus family size has increased. There was no opportunity then. But I had the intent, I had the willingness, and I was committed to doing whatever it takes to getting myself there. So that was my reality. Now, what transformation did it do for me? All the languaging, all the impartation,
Sometimes just being in the room, you live with such an anointing that you start to fly. You look like a superstar. Some people are legit confused by me. They can't figure it out because the math is not mathing. And I'm not doing normal math. It's a different kind of math. So you can never even understand. From today to tomorrow, you cannot understand it. But we know where it comes from. So you go for visionary retreat, and DDK will say missiles for milestones. Pray that everywhere Jesus goes, everywhere Jesus went to, he was renowned. Everywhere Jesus Christ, everywhere Jesus Christ. I remember praying that prayer in visionary retreats, and it was looking like I was crazy. It happened to me that year. It became everywhere Mrs. Notch. I was literally everywhere. That was, when I said everywhere, that everywhere, and not just everywhere. I was getting speaking engagements. That was the year I got my first paid speaking engagement, from hosting masterclasses of $20 that 5 or 10 people will register. The money will not even be enough to even pay for convert kits or even to pay for an EA. I started getting paid. That was the transformation. I started getting paid because I unlocked things that were actually my original design. So where I was striving before, the education that I got from these programs changed the game for me. I live in Canada. How is it? I think the question you should be asking is, how did what you got from Ideation Hub Africa become translatable to... It is because the principles are universal.
Exactly.
The principles
Yes.
are universal. And I couldn't find this kind of executive education for social impact leaders where I'm based. I couldn't find it unless you go to a university and take a course or a program, and it's minimum of $9,000 to $10,000. And we didn't have that financial capacity anyways, because going back to school is a whole different ball game. So it catalyzed so much change in me. It gave me a powerful community. If I want to do some big things today, I know who to call. I know my fellow visionaries. I know the powerhouses. They're my WhatsApp. There are some of them that I don't even talk to. We talk by voice notes. We exchange voice notes because we are too busy, time difference. It gave me such a catalytic community that I couldn't find here. And also, it unlocked opportunities for me in remarkable ways. Those are the things you get from investing in programs like this, and you definitely cannot get it on your own.
Wow. Drops mic. Lovely. Love it so much. Thank you, Mrs. Notch. You've heard it from her, right? You've heard it from her. I just love again how you're highlighting that it's really not about saying if there is a scarcity. It just starts with your mindset. And that was it. You had a mindset shift. It's not just about saying, oh, I don't have the money at hand or at cash or in my bank. You were not moved by that scarcity, but rather there was an abundance mindset that I will do whatever it takes to get myself in the room. Thank you for sharing. All right, just before I take on a few questions for my end, let me then ask some questions from our amiable audience. I can see they have popped up a lot of questions in the chat box, and I know I opened up that floor. So we want to have the opportunity to take a few questions from the audience. So I will start with Debbie Julian Towson's question, and it says, are social impact projects also allowed to pay staff salaries from grants, or is it solely for the beneficiaries? Okay, let me allow Mrs. Notch to answer this.
That's actually an eligible expense because you need staff to run the programs. The only catch is that depending on the amount of the grant, it may not be able to pay the full hours that are required to do the work. So you may have to supplement with volunteer hours. So for example, in Canada, if I want a grant to pay full-time salary, that grant has to be at least 100,000 because a good full-time salary will be about $50,000 by the time you add benefits and all of those things. So any project, any budget that you submit, any grant that you write, put some staffing dollars there, right? No matter how small. Maybe you need 40 hours a week to do the work. Maybe the grant can allow for 5 hours or 10 hours or 20 hours. Do it as much as it would take. But usually the rule of thumb is that your staffing should not be more than 50% of the entire grant. So if you're asking us for $1,000, don't spend $800 on salary. Then it's only $200 that you're actually spending on the beneficiaries. It will not, it will be declined. Okay, so maintain a nice balance. And yes, you should be paid from what you do in the grant, no matter how small. And you should be paid through payroll.
Thank you for answering that. Yeah. So and I would, you've just said what I would definitely say. So thank you once again, Mrs. Notch. Now there's another question. Mrs. Notch, for you. It says, did you have a for-profit arm that helped you keep afloat? Or you have relied solely on funders and grants?
I love this question. We don't have a for-profit arm. That is a model for some organizations, but it's not one that we are exploring right now. However, we do have in our strategic plan that our funding streams have to be diversified. So we don't rely only on grants and what's the other one you mentioned? Yeah, grants. So we have different income streams.
Grants
We have
and
grants.
funding.
Yes,
Grants
grants
and
also
funding.
funny. So we have grants, we have donations, and then we actually started a social impact, um, how do I put it, fundraising. I will explain. So because my organization focuses on culture a lot, when we have our booth, maybe we set up a table somewhere, we attend a fair or an event, we put cultural pieces on our table. And many people are very curious about those things. So if I put a small drum on the table, they started to ask us, can we buy this drum? So the things they started to ask us, can we buy? We brought them in from Africa and we sell them for a profit. So as a nonprofit, you can actually make profit. It's just that the profit has to be put back into the organization. So we have diverse income streams. However, grants is still our major funding streams. So some organizations have some kind of why am I forgetting the word now? Social enterprise. They have a social enterprise model. I know a construction nonprofit that the way they make their money is to do construction jobs. And then the money you pay them is put into the nonprofit. So they'll build your house for you, they'll renovate and do all of those things. But the money that you pay them, they use it to build the nonprofit. And then the staff in the nonprofit, they are people that they are training under their program. So they have a program that teaches people carpentry and all of those things, and their curriculum. So the students are the workers on your site, and they are supervised by experienced lead hands. Okay. Some other people have another social enterprise model where maybe they sell thrift clothes. They sell second-handed items and they make money from it, and that goes back into the organization. So we are working on that. We don't have that fully yet, but the cultural pieces that we sell is a social enterprise revenue stream for us.
Yes, powerful response. And one key, okay, there's an echo. All right, it's gone. All right. So one key insight, and I think I can draw from this response from Mrs. Notch, is that it's surprising. People can't wrap their heads that you have attracted close to $400,000 in funding. And it's almost like it has to be a combination or a diversification of revenue streams. And you are just exploring. This is to say what you have shown us is that from any stream of funding that you intend to work with, you can actually deepen expertise in it, and you can milk it so well before you even decide to diversify into other streams. And that's a key lesson you can draw from this experience, right? They went deep, and now they're not staying there. They're also still exploring the tentacles across all the revenue streams. And that's so insightful. So thank you.
So DTB, we're actually building towards something. When it comes to diversification, especially in your early years, maybe 0 to 5, be very careful the way you seek diversification without depth.
Yes.
Because if you do, you will get drowned. All right? Diversification without depth will lead to drowning. You will actually drown yourself. You should diversify based on what the work is saying, based on your data, based on the questions that your clients are asking and the opportunities that are available. Don't just diversify because you're looking for money. So the people that started building houses to make money and then put that money in nonprofit is because people were asking them, you're a nonprofit in construction, can you build my house? So the delivery would deliver the problems to you, and then you take those problems and you monetize it. That's what diversification really is about. So for now, what our work is even speaking to us, because we're growing so hard and fast, is that we're going to, one major way that we're going to diversify is to become a trustee organization. That's the question people are asking me now. How did you unlock this amount of money? By the time we hit the 3-year mark, we will be ripe to be a trustee for another organization. And so I'll collect 15% and I won't do any work but mentor you. Because that's what work is. So we're not
Yeah,
thinking diversification of, okay, maybe we too we can now start selling clothes and use it to
yeah,
make
no,
money. No, don't just diversify without depth. It is from
yeah,
the depth that you will see the areas and the
yeah,
opportunity. Then you can
yes,
unlock that.
yes. I love it. So let's take on a final question, because I want to also explore some other questions. But again, I'm sure everyone is greatly impacted thus far, right? We can't mince words. Someone's asking a question around your programs. How are you able to maintain coherence with 8 programs under TAF? I understand they are interconnected, but how are you able to ensure that they all get their due investment in resources with 6 star? She already highlighted some of these lessons in the first session. So I can almost say, go back and watch it, but let me have Mrs. Notch, speak to it.
Okay. So program design is another topic entirely. And if Ideation Hub wants, I can do a session for you on that because program design is massive. And program
We even
design is
have a
actually
program. You know that we offer this at
aha.
FDMI.
So
So it's
program
there.
design is huge. Your answer lies in unpacking program design fully, but I'll make it easy for you to wrap your head around right now. Those programs, they're different, but they are serving different members of the family. So we have programs for parents, we have programs for youth, we have programs for seniors, we have programs for culture, we have programs for food, and we have programs for community health. That's just 6. Every other thing is nested. So when you master program design and project management, a social innovator has to be a project manager. And I don't have project management skills. I don't have project management training. I had to go and learn it. The first person that gave me a crash course in that was a VCAP cohort member who is a certified project manager, and that's her day job. So I just called her up to say, I have multiple programs that I'm seeing in my head that I've built.
And
How
Mrs.
do I
Not,
run?
don't forget MPMI. You must reference
Uh-uh.
MPMI.
So we came to I'm getting there, DTV. So
Okay.
she told me you have to manage these things as projects, otherwise you won't be able to do it. And then I realized, how exactly do I do this? Enter non-profit management intensive. I paid. I even brought a team member along, Seth, to say, how are we going to run these programs? What are the tools that we need? And they broke it down. My favorite was the program session and the evaluation session. Especially evaluation. We lambano there. DTB gave us extra time. Everything. We didn't let the facilitator go. We were asking him questions. We were squeezing the juice out of it. When you design your programs well and you manage your project well with a calendar, you will find that you're able to deliver multiple projects, multiple cohorts in a year without stress, overwhelm, or burnout. And you will get your outcomes and people will keep coming. People will keep coming. So we have a massive calendar for the year, and all our programs are put in certain periods. There are some that have to happen at a certain time. If it's a summer program, it will happen in the summer. So we plan it with our excuse me. We plan it with our calendar, and then we run them as projects. Remember, this is not passion now. This is business. Non-profit is actually business.
Yes.
That's the shortest answer I can give.
I love it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Natch. Wow, what a session. And now again, I said it, we're going to raise the momentum with the Q&A, and that is what we have delivered on. Thank you, Mrs. Natch.
DTB, there's
Thank
one
you.
question I really like.
Okay.
Somebody asked, do you explicitly mention Jesus in your grant application or
Ah,
pitches?
I must have missed it. Let me
Is
take
this
that.
limiting in any way? And how do you
Okay.
navigate this without being, um,
Okay.
without trying to conform, especially for faith-based NGO? So if
NGO.
you have time, we can take it now or later if possible, but
No,
I
please,
know
please,
people have
please, keep
concerns
going.
around this.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
please, please.
so the answer lies in languaging and even prototyping. So we are a non-profit organization. We are not a church. However, this is the Lord's work. We are undercover agents for the kingdom of God. And so, undercover agents, they don't blow their cover, they don't reveal themselves. So, I go into board meetings and I'm prayed up, I'm fasted off. In fact, as I'm sitting there, I am praying seriously in tongues. So, what will come out of my mouth? It has to be an answer that will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. I don't have to mention Jesus. You have to master how to do social impact without brandishing it in religious Christianese. Because some of the people
So good.
that are sitting at the heads of these organizations, maybe they don't even believe in God. Maybe they are atheists. Maybe they don't go to church. Personally, as long as it is aligned with our values, it's fine. We will not do anything that is not aligned with our values. So I will not go and collect funding from areas or agencies that are not aligned with our values. But I had to learn the languaging. I had to learn how to present spiritual information without sounding religious. You have to learn that. If you cannot write Jesus in a funding application, even if the funder is a church, why are you writing that? That is low impact language, very, very low impact language. You have to master how to write it and solve the problems in the society. Jesus solved the problems in the society. Go back and look at the personal brand of Jesus and the journey of Jesus. He solved the problem. When you were sick, he healed you. He said, go, you are made whole. Your faith has made you well. He prayed for you and he healed you. He doesn't have to say Jesus. He's solving your problems. Solve people's problems and they will see Jesus in the work you do. We have programs where I sense the presence of God so
So
strongly.
good.
The biggest was a drumming workshop. I repeat, it was a drumming workshop. We were beating traditional drums. I brought in an instructor from Toronto to facilitate that session. I'm telling you, the presence of God filled the room. I had to leave the room. I had to exit and come back. I kept going out and coming back in because it was too heavy. And I could see what was happening. I don't even think people saw what was happening to them in that room. Without it was a drumming workshop. It was not inside the church. It was in a gym. So you have to master languaging because a lot of times, if you start to make your grant applications religious, they will be repelling and repulsive to the people that will evaluate them. Solve the problems in the society. Even church in Canada, churches are considered a charity. I hope you know that. Churches are considered a non-profit organization, Canada. And when churches apply for funding, they cannot be saying the Lord said we should apply for this funding. The Lord said, you keep that, right? Keep that to yourself and come and show us how it works. Study Daniel, study Joseph. Joseph interpreted dreams. He didn't pray in tongues. He gave answers to economic problems that Pharaoh had to say, this, where are we going? This person must have the Spirit of God. That's what Pharaoh said. So you have to master how to present your solutions in such a way that it gives people the feeling that there's something godlike about this. I don't even know how to explain it, but just come, just take it. And it happens all the time. Pray over your work for sure. Fast, pray, fast, do everything you need to. But when you are writing that thing, you put on your systemic cap and you write like an intellectual, write with the mind of Christ without mentioning Christ. Thank you very much.
And God bless you. I love it. Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Notch. What an evening it has been. Please, let's appreciate Mrs. Notch. Let's do that. Let's appreciate her. Okay, I saw a question from Emmanuel. No worries, the team will respond to you, right? Okay, so that's the response from the team. So just dive in, go there and dive in. And of course, we want to also be in the room at the vision retreat. So I'll come to that, but let's appreciate Mrs. Notch first.
I think DTV's network got caught up in there, but she's encouraging us to make sure that we attend the visioning retreat. You need it. I'm not buttering you up right now. You actually need it. I pay and I pay quickly because I need it. I actually need it. Knowledge is expansive. And the more you put yourselves in situations where you can learn from professionals or people that are experts in certain fields, for sure, everything will become accelerated for you. When I attended nonprofit management intensive, it wasn't every session that I needed, but there were areas that I was struggling with. And I knew that the answers were at that session. So there are answers for you at Visionary Retreat, but you have to put yourself in the room and you have to make that investment.
Yes.
Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Notch. I was just still singing your praises, and but thank God I'm back now. So I was saying, please, let's appreciate Mrs. Notch. Just before she goes, let's do that quickly. Thank you, Mrs. Notch. You've poured out yourself, and that's what we do. Now, you thought, you came in and you heard Mrs. Notch. Thank God you can see the stream she's drinking from, which is IHE. So, as she has invited you, come and drink too. Right? So that what? So that you can be transformed. Get in the room. And we have more global thought leaders in the room, in the studio already. Paul, Ewe Ola is already here. We have Doreen Omasale. We have Della Abayomi in the studio already, right? So let's appreciate it. I'm not feeling the energy. Give me that energy. I show appreciation for our speaker, a member of our ecosystem, the quintessential Mrs. Notch. Thank you. Thank you for pouring all of yourself, and we truly appreciate you. We can't wait to host you at the forthcoming retreat. And just like she's stated, she's inviting you, right? And we have an exciting news around that. So stay locked in. What did I say? Echo it with me. Stay locked in. Don't go anywhere. If you snooze, you lose. If you do what? If you snooze, you lose. And I love what Debbie said. Debbie said, initially I was contemplating, but she said now, so Mrs. Notch, you have done it well. She said now I am officially convinced. Yes, that's why we hosted this as well. And also to really just give back. You know, we continue to give back. We also run the African Masterclass series, which is fully funded, Harvard grade, courtesy of our funders and partners, right? And everyone who testifies about the African Masterclass series goes on and on. I think Mrs. Notch was a part of the African Masterclass series. I think so. I can't remember. No. Okay.
I traveled that period. I couldn't join.
Okay, that's fine. And that is offered completely free. But now we have paid programs too. And Visionary Retreat is one of such. And we're saying come and invest in your vision. So thank you, Mrs. Notch. We will release you at this juncture. All right, so don't go anywhere, please, because we are just about to raise and elevate the experience. Do we understand that? So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, right? Be present. Thank you so much. And I think at this juncture, just before we present our panelists, I think I can just ride on this wave to speak about the Visionary Retreat. How excited are we? Just before we have what? The next high impact panel session of the brilliant speakers, global change makers that we have in the studio with us, as announced earlier on. And I'm saying to you, we have the Visionary Retreat coming up next month, early in the month, between 6th and 7th of March. Now there's an exciting news. Who can guess? Maybe someone who guesses the exciting news may just maybe win a partial scholarship. You can't tell. So who can guess what the exciting news is, right? We have cooked. Look at that screen. Look at the array of speakers, right? You heard Mrs. Notch mention or make mention of the nonprofit program management intensive. At that program, we had Mr. Femi Taiwo. We also had Lady Oluwaseyi Justin, and right, we have also had Lady Ahoma at our program, and we're bringing them back again for the Visionary 2026 retreat. Now, I want you to make a commitment. If you have not signed up yet for the Visionary retreat, you are snoozing. So make that personal commitment to yourself that 2026 will be different. You have experienced, Mrs. Notch, in just 1 year, that transition happened in just 1 year. Of course, layering it with interactions with our sister companies, sister organizations, VCAP, EMS. But you can see she did not stop, because we will never, ever get tired of continuing in learning and in garnering the requisite knowledge for our journey, right? And this is what the Visionary Retreat is all about, right? The features are endless. The features are endless. You would have an experience DDK as your coach. And this is focused on everything policy, everything nonprofits, everything social enterprise, right? And then excitedly, we are offering you a whooping 20% discount, right? Courtesy of this webinar. Yes. And this is just open within the next 72 hours. Thank God, 72 hours. So right now, you want to make the most of this, because by Monday, prices are reverting back to norm. So we're offering you a whooping. So if you want to join us for the in-person experience, simply use the QR code. Scan the QR code on your screen right now and apply the discount code. If you're joining us for the virtual, I'll leave this on the screen for a little minute or 1 minute or few seconds just before I switch to the virtual registration. And if you're joining us for the virtual experience, it's the same access, a whooping 20% discount. So use the QR code, scan the QR code, and explore it. Our team will post links in a bit. So be on the lookout for the links. And tonight, go ahead to sign up. Now, don't be greedy. Be your change maker's keeper, right? Be your change maker's keeper. Now, let me share a little story. We have the African Masterclass series that is coming to, which has come to an end, and we literally offered the African Masterclass series literally for free, courtesy of our funders and partners. And we've had people describe the experience with the African Masterclass series program has been Harvard grade. And we had one of our chain makers simply say, stay married to IHA. And this was coming from one of our chain makers who just through the African Masterclass series, the curriculum from that experience, unlocked a 49 million naira grant. So these things we're teaching, we're not teaching, motivation. It's the real deal that is birthing real transformation. And we're not missing words. Do you catch that? And to now, just really lace this offering, we are giving you a 2 to 3 months instrumental payment option where you can spread your payment. If you are interested, let me rephrase that, which I believe you should be interested. Just like how you heard from Mrs. Notch, money should never be a problem for not signing up. You heard her story. When she joined the programs, there was no money. But now you can see there is the overflow, right? Because there was the abundance mindset that she was operating with. So, and she even layered or leveraged this kind of option with some of our programs across our sister expressions, right? And now our organization affords to pay for her being at the forthcoming IHA Visionary Retreat. So if you are one of those desirous of exploring this instrumental payment plan, here is your cue. Leverage it. Team, we are waiting for the link in the chat box. Pop up the link in the chat box so that everyone who is interested can explore. So let's get to do that immediately. Let's pop it up in the chat box. I'll go back to the QR code. You can write to us. Esther, keep your fingers crossed. We have something in that light. But again, layer this. We, as I said, what we are offering you here is already a scholarship. We're offering a 20% discount. And we know some persons are tuned in who have the opportunity to even sponsor people to be in the room, right? So let's do that. Let's sponsor others to be in the room. So for virtual attendance registration, please use the QR code there. Yes. Adewumi, yes, it's the same experience. Yes, for the virtual experience, it's the same experience. And that's the QR code that we have popped up that is on the screen. And we have the link now popped up, or that has been popped in the chat box. So please use the link as well. And definitely you'll receive an email. Yes, the discount applies both for on-site and virtual attendance. In-person and virtual attendance. Yes, it applies. Yes, it does. It applies. So explore it because it closes within the next. Oh, no. It's not February 13th and 14th. It's 6th and 7th. Yes, please. It's 6th and 7th. It's 6th and 7th. You can see the screen, Emmanuel. So the dates are on the screen. It's coming up 6th and 7th of March. Those were the previous dates, yes. So it's 6th and 7th of March. Do you catch that, Emmanuel? So those are the new dates. We had to move it forward from 13th and 14th to 6th and March because of a coinciding event that could impact greatly on the outcome. Yes. So you have ample time, and the ample time you have is within this window of 72 hours to leverage the discount. So I'll get on the screen. I'll get that on the screen again. We're popping up the chat box. Yes. We're popping up the links rather in the chat box. So use that. And again, be on the lookout for your email tonight. We will have the links in that email and you can still register. But please use the QR code for in-person registration. And of course, for virtual registration, you can also use the QR code. Exciting. All right. Let's now move to the second part of tonight's or this evening's engagement. Exciting. How pumped are we? Let me feel the energy. How pumped? Our change makers are in the room already. Let me feel the energy. Just before we get them on board or on screen. Let me feel the energy. It seems everyone is they have gone to sign up for the visionary retreat, which is great. But let's feel the energy. Pop it up. Super elated, lovely. I love it. Okay, so we're getting on to introduce them. So be on the lookout. All right. How excited are we? Okay. I'm waiting for them. They are in the studio already, but I want to be sure that they are present because I can see that their screens are a bit turned off. So, okay. We have TMA in the building. Raise the roof. Okay. All right.
Hi. I think I should turn my phone landscape.
No, it's okay. Okay, yes, you can turn it landscape. Yes, please. And we have the Mrs. Nelson herself, Abayomi Della Adiola. How are you feeling? How are you, rather? And how are you feeling tonight?
I'm so good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to everything we're going to be talking about tonight. And I mean, I'm listening from Mrs. Notch and the gems that she has dropped during her session. I'm really, really looking forward to this panel session.
I love it so much. Okay. All right. So I'm waiting for TMA. She's trying to adjust her screen. Then also Paul. I can see Paul in the studio, but please, we can alert Paul. Is present, but I need his screen turned on so that just before the team adds him to the screen. Okay, he has done that. Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Good evening, DTB.
That is
Being
our latest. Okay. Sorry. Let me allow you that.
yeah, I'm being perfectly well. Thank you.
All right, excellent. So I was about to just introduce Paul. Is our latest, when they say Okoyawo, translated in latest husband of the year. Paul, give me the smile. Paul, don't give me a serious look. Paul is trying to give me a serious look. So let's celebrate him about that. Congratulations once again, Paul. And thank God for perfecting that journey alongside you. Okay, we have TMA in the room as well. Let's feel the energy. Are you ready? Hey, the gems that will come out from this panel. We have powerhouses. And let me be proud to showcase them. This is a bragging moment. They are members of the IHA ecosystem, right? And they have journeyed with us. You can see, feel the energy. Clock it. They have journeyed with us till Tete, right? And they And they have been in, if not in most of the vision retreats, and they will be with us this year as well. So I'm super excited. Once again, TMA, Lady Adiola, Lady TMA, and Paul, we are truly excited to have each of you with us in the room. So now let's just have you share, taking us back on your journey, your first experience with IHA, through the Visionary Retreat or maybe any of our defining programs. What challenges were you facing and how has your journey evolved since then? So I'll start with Lady Adiola, then go to Paul, and then TMA.
All right. Thank you so much, DTV. I think that's a very interesting question, because just as you asked that question, I could remember my being in the room in my first visioning retreat with IHA, and I was just so quiet. And I remember DDK saying, this one, they are so quiet. Hope everything is okay. I'm just really soaking everything in. And I remember that at the time, which was 2023, okay, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, there was a lot going on with us, and we're just trying to restructure and do a lot of restructuring. And while that was happening, for me, I felt like it was beyond just doing charity that I wanted to do. I wanted to build an institution out of what we're doing with Sion Academy. And for context, for people who do not know, Sion Academy is a free school that I run for children in low-income communities. And when we're going to start, I knew that this was going to be a big deal because it was capital intensive. We're going to need people, and we're dealing with human beings, right? So I was seated in that room, and as someone who has struggled with building structures and systems, and DDK is like the powerhouse for that. So I was in that room, and as she really broke it down, took it like, oh, this is what to do, this is how to do, these are the areas in your organizations that you should actually be marking, you should actually be checking. She made us do a test, to do like an organizational assessment. I still go back there and do that test every time, because I'm like, it really just gave me some sort of perspective on what to put in check. And moving from that organization that did not particularly have the structure that it needed, I've seen how much that retreat, that visioning retreat, has helped me to be able to build structure within my organization and even in every other area of my life. Because your life is a project as it is, so you have to take it as such. And over time, it has really changed. Sion Academy is more than 3 years now, and we have done so much. So I'm really looking forward to what this visioning retreat will be like and how it's going to transform a lot of organizations.
Excellent. Wow. Thank you for sharing. I love how you were tying out that last part. You said our life is like a project. I love it. That's just so powerful. And this thing that Abayo made, okay, I call her Della. That Della is just saying so nice. Academy is just 3 years. You want to go check out their work, right? Go on Instagram or visit Della's page on IG and just take a snoop into the work, and you will be mind blown at the evolution in the last 3 years. And it's just been because Della has continued to invest in a growth and evolution. She's remained intentional about a transformation and ensuring that she is in the rooms that empower her for our next. So we're proud of you, Della. Over to you, Paul. Same question applies.
All right. So thinking about my journey with Ideation of Africa, thinking about Ideation of Africa, my first engagement with Ideation of Africa dated back to 2021. That was my first experience with Ideation of Africa. Then I had two key problems. First, I started my NGO in 2019, and as at 2021, I needed to improve the organizational structure of my NGO, and also I was at the phase of positioning myself as a leader in my space. Right, so I needed a model that works. You know, one of the things that I've leveraged is learning from people who had gone through the phase I passed that and gone through the phase that I am about to get into. How do they navigate those complex situations and learn from them, then adapt the strategy, innovate it. And as I then I had started listening to DDK's short videos, from 2020 during the COVID era. There was that was like my first engagement with DDK. I see her videos and all of that. So I took her as a mantle, right? So it's a prophetic word for me. I took her as a mantle, and decided to like follow through, because she was a face of possibility when it comes to organizational structures, when it comes to systems and all. So I came to that masterclass series to learn how to setting structures in place for my organization. Starting with governance, processes, people, defining roles, and all of that, and also how do I position myself as a leader in my space. So those were like the two key questions I came with. And when I left the African Masterclass series, I went with so many answers. And till now, because it's a learning process, my journey as a leader is a learning process. I am still adapting all of those lessons taught, learned, and also readjusting. Then the visioning retreat in 2023, and then I was sponsored by Recycle Today Africa. The key issue I had then was developing system and models that achieves and sustain excellence, right? You don't want a one-time excellence. You want it to be continuous and sustainable, right? So how do you continue to stay relevant in your space, even in your profession? And when we went during the course of the session, I'm going to give in more tips and go deeper into them. Thank you.
Wow, thank you
Wow,
so
thank
much.
you so much.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, good. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Adiola, Della. TMA, are you back? I want to be sure that she's back. I can see she's in the room, but I want to be sure she's back. I believe she's having some um, experience with the network, and she will just definitely rejoin. Okay, what an insight. Thank you once again, and thank you for sharing with us. All right, this takes me to my very next question. And I would want you to share with us, Della. Share with us that breakthrough moment you had with IHA. Was there a single inside framework or session from the visionary retreat that completely changed how you led, how you designed your programs, and how you executed your vision? And walk us through that journey.
First off, DTV, please confirm that you can hear me properly.
Yes, I
Like my
can.
sound is
Very clear.
all right.
Yes,
Awesome.
please.
So I feel like when it comes to visioning retreat, what stands out literally for me and helps me with all of my execution is the mindset shift. And what that does for me is not just really thinking, about the things that DDK is saying, because some of them might really be high sounding, but it's not just about the high sounding. It's about how it shifts you from just listening to DDK to visualizing your execution, visualizing what you actually want to be doing. When I was going to start my school, trust me, I felt like it was impossible. And then getting into VCAP, I feel like maybe I'm doing a bit of VCAP advertisement here, but please allow. So getting into VCAP for 40 weeks, and I'm like, yo, what's happening here? This is more than just saying you want to go and visit secondary schools, or you just want to go and send them books, back to school projects, and all of those things that were really lovely to do. For me, it was a mindset shift. It was about knowing that your vision was not just about the project, but it's about you. So one thing that DDK will always dream is your first investment and your best investment in anything at all is you. So, I mean, what it does for you, aside from you being able to execute, is giving you the power to actually execute, because you know that you are not doing nonsense. Because you have learned, you know what you're supposed to do. You have the roadmap, you have the framework, and you're just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not stupid. I know that this is possible, and that's what that room just sort of makes you, believe. Yeah, that's what it gives. That's the idea, and that's the reality that it actually gives to you, because it has to come from your mind. All the declarations, all the prayers, and all the making you really understand that this is how simple it can be. It might be very difficult. I'm never going to lie. It's going to be very difficult. Execution can be very difficult. But having the right coach, having the right environment. I mean, I could see people who were doing things similar to what I was doing. I could see people who were even thinking more crazier than I was. And I'm like, oh, I've never started thinking at all. So, I mean, being in that community, being with those set of people in that room is something for me. And every time I step into there, I'm always looking forward to that. I feel like, oh, some people want to come to Visioning Retreat just because of DDK. DDK is a sweetheart. Yeah, I always go for our programs because of her. But I also go because of the quality of people that you are going to find there. So beyond just the frameworks that are being taught and the execution plans and all of those things, is the people. They really matter a lot for many of the things that I want to do, because I'm seeing them do their own work and I'm like, yo, this person's doing it. I can also do it. I'm seeing how they're dreaming big, and it also inspires me to dream big as well. I'm seeing how they're doing their work, because you cannot be an island of knowledge and you can also not be an island of execution. You need people around you to help you, and all of those things put together, the community, the resources. It's a lot. Where do you want me to start from, right? So it's really usually a lot. So you have to think about it as a whole package, not just you sitting in a room and writing, but you really immersing the experience, relating with other people, and getting the community that you really need to build.
Wow, wow, wow. A drop mic experience. I love it so much. Thank you for sharing, Della. Thank God TMA is back. And we've had such a powerful time with Lady Della and Paul. Now let's hear from TMA. So I want to take
All
the
right.
first question, but I want you to answer. Did you get the first question? If you didn't, I can take it again just before you answer the second question. So the first question was
Okay.
around walking us back to your first experience and encounter with IHA through the Vision Retreat or any of our defining programs. What challenges were you facing, and how has your journey evolved since then?
Okay. I apologize. My network and my electricity, they are sort of connected, so both of them just failed on me. All right. So first of all, thank you for having me, and I greet you, Lady Della and Mr. Paul, and of course our delightful DTB. All right. So my first encounter with IHA, I've been attending. I think the first one I attended was 2018. Then you people didn't really have like all of this, packaged program that sort of speaks to innovators and social impact workers. But the first time I encountered IHA was through NPIM, Nonprofit Management Intensive. I don't know what people planned, how people planned it, but I think that that meeting was planned because of me. Because after the first day, it was virtual. I could not sleep. I am not telling you. I'm not lying, rather. Like, I am not joking. I could not sleep. There was so much energy rush, and I think I need to also encourage those that will be connected virtually that won't be able to make the room. See, let me tell you, I it's such a thing to be in the room, but if you're connected virtually, you can also, encounter some things that is definitely high octane. I'm telling you. So I could not sleep that night. I was literally brainstorming. The following morning was the live session. So I went like that to the live session. DDK, DTB, they were on the call. They literally, made our minds literally stretch. So we went for the live session. And the live session, I mean, amazing. On my way going back to Lagos, because I came from Ife, I was literally just strategizing, brainstorming, because what I was doing before, or where I was before that encounter, I was basically what you call running with passion and not necessarily knowledge. And DDK will say that passion without knowledge is poisonous, right? So I was literally just doing things as they come, as when we just they do and make it just they go, as God is telling us, let's just be pushing. But that room in that meeting, DDK sort of, broke down strategies. She gave like literal blueprint on how, one can move from point A to point B. And she was so gracious that she even spotlighted my work and literally just sort of gave us like a framework. I didn't take it like she was just, teaching, because of course, if you know DDK, she's a pro coach. So you get, so I was like, there's something for me in this thing. She just analyzed. So I remember taking that, with me, and I began to sit on it on my way going to Ife. After that session, I began to call my team. I called my tech person. I called my engineer, my website person. I said, you know what, guys, this is what we are doing next. DDK gave this amazing idea, and I think we should do it. And when we literally launched that idea, I would say that it changed the game for us. It brought more donors. It brought more people that were saying, you know what, I'm interested in what you do. And it literally pushed me to become more bold in my storytelling. And I want to say this. I think I heard when Della was talking about, being in communities and all of that. It's so precious. Before I came for MPIM, a friend of mine, someone I really consider close, said something to me that could literally just, drain all the energy I was running with. She was like, in your NGO, you don't need to tell people, what you're doing, like, don't always tell people. She was coming from this traditional cultural tone of there are witches online that will be monitoring you. So when you are going through some things, don't post it. So I posted that we had closed our rehab home, like, because of some challenges, because I love telling stories, right? And then when I got into the room and then hearing DDK say things like, um storytelling, Doreen, I love what you do, it's so beautiful, do more of it. And I was like, oh my goodness, that was more like I would call it like the validation I needed. And I can tell you right now, the success that we have currently in my foundation is because of that storytelling. And it took listening to a coach, someone who is experienced, to push me, to give me that nudge that, see, you can do it, keep doing it, I love it, than hearing a friend who doesn't really know what, she's not been in the field before, just saying that you can do it, keep doing it.
Okay. Is that TMA's network? I think so. Paul and Della, please can you speak? I want to be sure it's not my network. Okay, I can see your movements.
Yes, can see your movements.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I guess it's a network. She will rejoin definitely, and we'll have her land our thoughts when she rejoins. Okay, Paul, let's have you share the second question. Yes, around, what was that
Around,
framework? What was that
what was
insight?
that framework? What was that?
Okay, let me stop speaking. Did you get the question, Paul?
Okay,
Did
can
you
you
get
hear
the
me
question?
loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, Okay, so the question was the single insight of framework from the retreat that's changed how I lead, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I want to be sure that you are still present in the room. Let's feel your energy in the chat box. Are you with us in the room? Let me feel the
I
energy. Let me
think.
feel the energy. All right. All right.
All right. Hi everyone. Okay, so thanks for having me back. I think it's the network glitch. So for the question, I said that from 2021, I had the issue around setting up structures for my organization and also positioning myself to become a leader in my space in the area of marine conservation and youth development. Now, as at 2023, after the After Masterclass series, I had transitioned from someone who has that to someone who has direction. Now I had direction. I've been able to set up structures. People have started calling for my skills, right? And also, reaching out to me to help them address issues. At that point, I had become overwhelmed with so many things. And I cannot forget the After Africa, the Visionary Retreat 2023, where DDK took us through the 12 pathway wheel. There is this session called the 12 pathway wheel because at some point I was lacking in some areas. I was excelling in some areas. So truly it was a bumpy ride. It was a bumpy ride. And that session, she gave out some tips on how we can integrate every of this pathway rather than isolating them. And so it became a moment of realization for me, right? So I could have all in one and they would not affect each other. So I started integrating my spiritual journey into my organization growth and my relationship with people into recreation, my networking and personal growth into my health and wellness. And since then it has been a positive trajectory in my leadership space. So right now, I am excelling in my academics. I'm excelling in my profession, and people still call for my expertise and still get them. Thank you.
Very accurate. Thank you for sharing, Paul. Thank you. Very, very, very accurate. And if you follow Paul very well on LinkedIn, you see how he continues to share his journey. Paul is not only excelling in his career as the director of operations at URecycle, but also runs his own nonprofit in climate innovation and is excelling powerfully in that area as well. So thank you for sharing. Okay. Over to you, TMA. Let me allow you. Okay, all right. Over to you, TMA. Let me allow you land your thoughts. Is TMA back with us? I'm trying to. It seems our network.
I think the network.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so maybe we'll just continue with. Paul, can you help me mute? It seems there is a feedback from your head. Yes, when you're not speaking. Thank you. Excellent. All right. So we would have TMA back in the room. She's having some experience with our network. All right. Again, let me feel the energy. It's I would say we are unpacking depths of insights from this panel. And I want you to be able to re-echo the thoughts coming through. What are you hearing? What instruction are you receiving? And what action steps will you be taking, as a result of all that you are learning from this webinar? So over to you, starting with Lady Della. I would want you to share again around how, through your IHA experience, you have transitioned from passion-driven work to building systems, strategy, and sustainable impact. I wanted to sit into the how. How has this transformation happened through the IHO experience?
Okay, so I think that I would circle back my experience from the African Masterclass series that we had. I think that was 2020. And I mean, I've been doing non-profit work since like 2017. So coming through IHA in with AMS in 2020, I was just like, I mean, who is doing a course on social impact? Who is doing a course on NGO work? Like, I mean, like, why does anybody want to learn how to go to secondary schools and share back to school packages? Like, what's there to even learn? And I remember going through all the series. It was even the replay that I bought. And I was just going through all the classes and I'm like, okay, there's something more to this thing. We were talking about governance. I know it was around the time that we had this protester Sorosoke movement. So there was
Um, all right. Network is really doing a number on our speakers. Wow. Okay, let's move on quickly to Paul so that there is no lethargic gap. Over to you, Paul. You got a question. So I would have Della continue once she's back in. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. And this particular question reminds me of my experience with the visioning retreats in 2023. Now, I've known DDK, and every time I attend any session by Ideation of Africa, when I go through my notes, I miss out on some points. I miss out on some points, and I think I miss out something. How do I get it back? But this time around, I was going there well prepared, but there was something different that I noticed that aided my information retention. Because DDK is full of strategy, frameworks, right, and cutting edge models. And whenever she speaks about these things, she gives you replicable strategies. You know, when DDK talks about setting up structures for your organization in this area, she does not stop there. She gives you a model. This is how to do it. And right there, before each of the session, you have those resources sent to you. Now, and DDK does not give you those resources as just templates alone. During the retreat, she organizes steps. I'm trying to use simple words for those who are contemplating if you join the retreat or not. So I'm telling you what, and if it's happened in 2023, trust me, there's an upgrade already. There's an upgrade. Now, the fact that I had access to these tools, right, and I already know I have understanding on how to utilize them to my own peculiar system was something that made my improvement fast. You know, so the technical know-how was not far-fetched, the knowledge was not missing. Now I had knowledge and I had the power because the knowledge was applicable instantly. So that was one experience that moved me from passion driven to building system, the access to the templates, access to the tools, access to the models. So at that point, I had more information than what I had on my notes, right? So I had, and one thing about DDK is she helps you simplify the models. Now, these are world-class models. These are world-class frameworks that when you attend trainings, 6 hours, you still have to read again. And DDK simplifies them for you in few minutes, right? So, and she empowers you to take on from where she stops. So that is the access to the resources, the access to the tools, the access to those strategies, right? Strategies in simplified formats, not just in words, not just on paper. So that built my confidence. So I'm not just going back with information, I'm going back with applicable information, information that has power. So that was one thing that moved me from just passion driven, right, to action oriented, to impact oriented, because I had the tools, I had the resources. All I needed to do was just apply them. Thank you.
So good. So good. Thank you for sharing. Very insightful. Wow. Again, Paul just put it in simple words. All he's saying, be in the room. As simple as that. That's it. That's what he's saying. Right. And I shouldn't add to what he has said because he has said a lot and he has driven it home. So thank you, Paul. Over to you, Della. I wanted to land your thoughts on yes, what you were sharing.
Thank you very much. So I think that part of the things that are highlighted during this program, I'm going to break it down into three. Number one is understanding your idea, understanding that thing you want to execute. So it's not enough for you to say, oh, I want to send children back to school, or I want to, give children free education. Is, do you really understand the rudiments of what you're about to do? Do you understand what that idea really means beyond just the activity, but also the purpose behind it? So beyond, oh, I really want to do this, because passion is not enough. You know how many times I've told myself, Della, just give up on this thing, I beg, give it close up. Everybody will understand that it's not that easy, right? And it's so easy for you to give up when you're more passion oriented, or when you're more, just about, oh, I'm very passionate about it. It's also thinking about the purpose behind it. Why am I doing this? What problem am I solving in the world? So she breaks down the enigmas, and she puts it down for us and say, oh, if you're into politics, this is the enigma you're trying to solve. Breaks it down and gives you, the different layers of that problem you're trying to solve. In education, you're looking at mindsets, you're looking at, the outlook of people, you're looking at poverty, you're looking at how they're going to evolve beyond just knowing stuff, but actually being able to create solutions. You're looking at innovation. So she's breaking all of those things down for you through enigmas to help you really understand. And I think enigmas are usually day one. Where we're doing it online. I don't know what's going to be like. I mean, every episode is always different. So I'm always looking forward to it. So enigmas, just really help you to understand your idea. And then number two is the structure. And when we are saying structure, what do we mean? We are saying human capital, we are saying the resources that you need. So if you're talking about, if you ask many NGOs what problem they're having within their organization, their first answer is usually funding. Since I started attending visioning retreats, funding has been my least problem. Not because I don't need money. I need money, right, Joe? But because she has made us really understand that money is the least of your problem. You need to fix all of these things within your structure to help you attract the right donors and help you gain stability. So when you look at all of this, you will now start to look beyond money. You will now know that money is not the issue. So today when people come and meet me and say, oh, Della, I want to do this, but I'm making that money, I'm not earning enough salary, I'm not farm, I'm like, money is not what you need. The moment you take your eyes away from money and start to look at other things that help you build the right structure, it makes raising funds easier for you. It makes, bringing in the right donors easier for you. And that's what she helps you do. So you're looking at your structure, you're looking at your systems, and you're actually understanding them and creating them in a way that works for you. Number three is you yourself, which is very important, and honestly the most important. I always tell myself. So today, even if I want to do a consultation for someone and I charge them, I'm charging them with my full chest, because I've invested in myself enough to be able to make that charge. So, and this is for people who you probably don't have an initiative. You just want to be a non-profit consultant, or you want to, be able to help other non-profits, just like IHA is doing. I feel like IHA is like the university, let me put it in quotes. So if you want to be that person who will be another IHA, they actually reproduce other people who can build IHAs. Like, so think about it that way. If you are looking at yourself like a non-profit consultant, someone who will help other NGOs, this is where you should be, so that you actually know how to help them. You actually know the things you should be looking at within their organization. It's not just for your own organization. So if you don't have an organization, that's fine. But if you want to help other people, I mean, look at Shay, for instance, that runs You Recycle, and we bring, well, she's coming for the retreat. She was doing You Recycle normally before, but before we knew it, she started also consulting for other NGOs, and also started, creating webinars and conferences for people running their NGOs, and that's what it does for you. So over time, expertise and actually knowledge, just like Paula said, helps you to elevate yourself and also helps you to elevate other people. So you can make money not just And DDK will also teach you that your NGO can make money. You can make money from your NGO. I'm not even going to spill everything for you. You should go to Visionary Retreat and you're going to learn all that. So making money through your NGO, making money through yourself as well as an NGO, non-profit consultant will really go a long way. And this and many more is what, Visionary Retreat has really helped me to see. And that's the how.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Just like Della said, IHA is what we call like I would say it's the Harvard University of social innovation on the African continent, literally, right? That's how we describe IHA. And we're not missing words because that's where we're headed, right? And this is what we continue to do. You have heard Mrs. Notch. If you are joined earlier on, or for everyone who joined the earlier part, that's just been the story. Just like Della has narrated our story, that's the story of Mrs. Notch. Same thing. You come in and realize funding is not the problem. Get your systems and structures in line and in shape, right? And once that happens, the funding comes. And that's what Mrs. Knott did. And Mrs. Knott took it a notch higher, just like our array of global panelists, right? Operationalizing the knowledge and insights from the program within their institutions. And they begin to reproduce. And that's what they did, right? And you can see that they are paying it forward. They know their source. They are like, in an African parlance, it's like, where you are drinking from and you go back to pay homage. Do you understand it? And they know that they don't want to cut off that source because you know the power of staying connected to the source. Just like believers, same thing, right? And that's how you must think about your engagement, your interaction, and your alignment with our work at IHA. So we're not just inviting you to a program. It's not just a nice to have program. We're not just inviting you to okay, right. I'm back. Okay. So we aren't just inviting you to a nice event, right? Or a nice conference. This is a clarion call for alignment. And we're literally saying, if you are one of those, the new breed of social innovators, the new breed of social impact leaders, the new breed of change makers, change agents, the new breed of social saviors, then when you think IHA, right, you should plug in. So when we say come and invest in your evolution by being a part of the Visionary Retreat, we're not trying to converse you. We're not trying to market to you. Rather, we want to show you the pathway of transformation. And just as lives have been transformed, we want you to get into this band or community of transformed lives, right? And change makers, and be one, be a representative, right? Be an ambassador. That's what we want to do with you. And we will never be tired of making this clarion call. So I want to see if, okay, TMA is back. All right, she's back. Excellent. All right, TMA. I know network has been doing a number, so sorry about that.
Honestly, I apologize as well.
It's fine. It's fine. We understand, and we pray. We are speaking about social innovation. We know there is that social innovator who will catch, the desire and the need to solve this issue around technology and electricity. So over to you, TMA. You got the question. We're just having you share. I think you were trying to land your thoughts, really, around what insight. But let me leave that so that we're not going. Okay, we're speaking around how you have, through the IHA experience, transitioned from passion-driven work to building systems, strategy, and sustainable impact within your organization. And we can go on and on, but I really want you to tell the story in such a in with such brevity, but with such power. You must pull us into our words and the opportunities you have unlocked, in the last 1 year by being within this community and being aligned with the life defining programs at IJ. Over to you.
So good. So the thing I would share, I'll say that it's been a journey, to be honest. My husband would say that visioning retreat is like the wake up call for us for the year. Let me go back to last year. We literally just said, what, let's just pay for this thing and just attend, visioning retreat. And I remember being in that room. It was such a beautiful experience. DDK had us sort of like visualize what we wanted, and if you're in the room, you're in the room. If you don't know, don't worry. So like, so we had like picture representation of what we're seeing, what we want to do, and it was looking like those things were just playing. And I remember when I was preparing for this call, I just saw, because I printed the picture. Mine was that, the nations open to me. I printed the picture and I pasted it in my room.
Yeah.
I pasted it in my room. And then it was just coming to my head that really, I have seen that, last year was the very first time that I traveled to Kigali to present my NGO in collaboration with an AI organization, and I was able to present, or let me say, we were able to present our solution before, I think, is it 120 countries, people seated in the room, so it was, when I look at that picture and I look at that, experience, and I'm like, this is no joke, really. And it brings me to say this, for me, AHA gave me exposure, or should I say it gives me exposure. And there's something about exposure that people don't understand. Exposure is an unfair advantage. All right. Exposure can collapse years of ignorance. Exposure can make you, normalize greatness. So hearing all of the things I was hearing last year, visioning retreat, and entering the year, we didn't really have a plan. But one thing we knew is that we need a bigger space for our rehabilitation work. So with no money in the account, no anything. I remember the retreat ended on Saturday. On Sunday, I penned down, because I'm always penning. I'm an action taker. I don't believe you should go for programs, invest money, and then you're just looking. I believe if you don't, take action within the next few hours, I believe that you will lose something. So for me, I always jump right in. So on Sunday, I was, brainstorming, and I just put on my status that, see, I'm looking for a 5-bedroom apartment, and all of that. I didn't have money for it. On Monday, I think on Monday, somebody now said, I think on Sunday, yeah, that same day or so, someone sent me a message and said that, there's a apartment she saw. So on Monday, I came up on Instagram. I leverage social capital. I believe so much in the power of social media. So I came up, put my mic on, and I said, hello, everybody. We need a house. This is the amount of money. All of that. If you can donate. I was just basically just doing my thing. And then somebody sent us, 1.7 million naira for the house. And I thought that was the beginning, the end of things, but if there's something that I learned from IHA is the power of, literally telling your story. Like I was sharing before I was cut out from network the other time, hearing DDK, mention how that she loves how I literally put the stories of our NGO out there and literally get the attention of people. So I literally leverage on that. And I can tell you, because of doing just that one thing, my organization literally raised more than 10 million naira last year. I don't consider myself as somebody who is a public figure with a lot of followers, but I can tell you that the power of storytelling, right, which I have sort of, learned from IHA, has literally helped me. And another thing too is that because I am in the room, in the room where I get to hear things, I get to hear figures, I get to hear people share things, I cannot forget, when DDK shared how much she raised at my MPIM virtual. She just typed it on the chat box. That figure did something to my brain. I was like, in this time and, season, someone is raising this kind of money, So the thing about being in rooms like this, you need to make sure that you pay your way in. There are certain informations you will not just find, on the street. I love what Mrs. Notch said about, paying for things. When she said that, it did something to my brain. When I got into visioning retreat, when I get into the room, every time, it does something to me, and it normalizes greatness for me. Because the truth is, you cannot unsee what you have seen. You cannot unhear what you have heard. You cannot untouch what you have touched. So when you get into rooms like this and you see change makers sharing, someone may even come and say, we've made $10,000, but we're still, going through some hiccups. You that you have not made up to $100, you're like, I don't understand. You made $10,000 and you're going through hiccups. It does something to you. So for me, literally being able to tell my story, the award thing she talked about, it was exposure. I exposed myself, to a coach. I literally paid, to be in this person's circle. All right. And this person literally gave me the information about the award and said, give it a shot. The Governor Sanwo-Olu Social Impact Award. Let me now shock you. I had a friend who we are doing this thing together. She did not tell me Shingbai. She did not tell me there's anything like this happening in this world. I did not know. But you see, exposure is an unfair advantage. Because I had exposed myself to this coach and I paid to be in his community, in his ecosystem, he told me, give this a shot. And I applied and all of that. Now, guess what? To be, to become the finals of the nominees and all of that, they said I should put together all my work that I've been doing for the past 7 years in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, see, if I wasn't hearing the things I was hearing in IHA about documenting your stories, about having your documents, your statistics, keeping your track record, if I'd listened to people, I remember somebody telling me that, you don't need to keep all these things, you don't need to post it, don't show yourself, just be doing your thing behind the scene. If I'd been listening to all of them, when it was time for my track record to bring me an award, there won't have been any track record. So there was enough track record. So I packed everything for them, and then we were able to win the award. And it was such a huge one for me. I still literally carry it on my head to date. Like I have shaked, a governor, a former governor, and I was even out beside my king, the king of Warri. It was such a great one for me, to be honest. And all of this, I would say, happened because I put my head in a system that can expose me to these possibilities. So I want to beg you, I know we're wrapping up now. I want to beg you, if you have to go and sell, something that is precious to you, I'm serious, I am that kind of person. Once you know that this thing is for you, if you're very serious about growth, you will pay the price for it. If you have to go and sell something that, is very dear to you, if you have to go and pull funds from somewhere that's very dear to you, DTB did not send me to do all these ones I'm doing. I'm just telling you from my heart, because I remember when I wanted to enter into the ecosystem of that my coach that told me about Governor Sanwo-Olu Award, I was going to sell my iPhone. I'm not joking. I was going to sell my iPhone that, see, I know I need you in my life, so I'm entering into your life, and I'm ready to pay the price. So be ready to pay the price. If you have to sell something, thank God they even did a discount, an installment plan. So gracious. It will do you. In fact, the fact that you even pay that kind of money for your growth, to invest in yourself, it will first shift a paradigm. First, that, I am in for this. So I want to encourage you, even as you are trying to invest in other people, please try to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, because the returns, it will literally blow your mind. That's what I'll say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, TMA. Thank you. Thank you for
We
that
can hear you.
powerful. Oh my God. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you from my hand, loud and clear. I can hear you from my hand.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Okay, okay, great. All right. Powerful insight from TMA. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for the confirmations. Okay, excellent. Wow. It's again a drop mic moment. A drop mic moment. And thankfully, you heard TMA share. Most of the in-selling that has been happening or upselling that has been happening with TMA, with Mrs. Notch, I never had a conversation with them before now to say, as you're coming for your session, this is what you should do. Nothing like that. But it only proves one thing. It only proves one thing, that when lives are truly transformed, they become a testament, right? A living testament of what you are doing. And that is what TMA, Mrs. Notch, Paul, that is what they are doing. They are living testaments of these transformations and evolutions. So thank you once again. Again, the team is popping in the chat box the links for you to sign up. Please explore. Again, we have opened up a 20% discount access, and this will run within the next 72 hours. Make the most of it, right? If you're also interested in the instrumental payment plan, run it within 2 to 3 months. Write to us at info@ideationhubafrica.org, right? We have people who have taken on the opportunity and are going to be in the room by virtue of the instrumental payment plan. So please pay it forward, as the case may be. All right, we will take our final question, or let me call it the penultimate question before the final question. And it's really, because we can go on and on, but later I thought about it, I said, let them come to the retreats, right? We have offered this for free. Let them come to the retreat. Can you hear me? And there's been so much value today, from Mrs. Knott's session to this panel session. The value is off the charts. So I'm like, if you want more value, come to the retreat, right? We would reserve the conversations for the retreat. So that being said, I want to ask a question really around how you have built your team constitution, enhanced your leadership mindset, or achieved what I would call a leadership upgrade. And the question goes thus: how has your leadership mindset evolved, right, through the experience at the visionary retreats, particularly the one for the nonprofits, um, policy leaders, and social innovators? And how has this helped you scale your vision, right? Build with the right team beyond what you can ever imagine. I know we are all still on that journey, but there is already a scaling that has happened from where you were to where you are now. So I'll start with Lady Adiola, Lady Della, and then we would have TME take that question, and then we would have Paul speak to it. Then we'll round off this session. All right, over to you,
All
Lady
right,
Della.
thank you so much, DTV. So I think that's such a powerful question, because your team is super important for anything you want to do. Trust me, if you are seeing the vision and they are not seeing the vision, there will be a problem. So I feel like with everything that we have learned with Visioning Retreat and all the other programs, it has really helped me to be able to transfer the vision that I have to my team members, and also look within my team members, especially when I want to recruit them or hire them, whether it's a paid staff or a volunteer, to say, what's your heart to
Okay.
part
All
of
right.
a good thing, but you're not really in the vision. So I sort of have to look into their heart to say, what's this person thinking about what we are currently doing at Sion Academy? And that has helped me in so many ways. My team members have helped me with expansion, especially because when we started with about 46 children. I love to always say this story. And this was when, the first time that I attended the visioning retreat. We were just 46 children. I mean, I was so excited because that was some numbers to me. And learning how to deal with team members, learning how to deal with structure, I was able to really, let me say, brainwash them into understanding what the vision was all about. And that helped us to move from 46 to 80 children in a year. And within that 1 year, I never stepped foot in the school. That's the most amazing thing in this story. I never had to be in the school for once to say, oh, I'm coming to check what you guys are doing. I just had teachers. I had the head of school just take things over, and before we knew, we had double the number that we used to have. And then in about a year later, we now have about 180 children with 2 facilities with all of these kids in them. And this would not have been possible with just me, trust me, because anybody that knows me knows that I'm hardly ever around. I'm hardly ever in one place. So that's always a problem, especially when you want to build something that has to be physical. But when you have a team that actually works, it helps you to be able to not just scale the work you're doing in terms of number, but also scale the vision. We move from just helping kids access quality education, free education, to now say, how can we take them out of poverty through innovative solutions created by the children themselves? So we're looking beyond just giving them education, but what can they actually do with the education that they have, gotten? And it will not happen without the team members, without the teachers saying, no, this is what we have observed, without the head of school saying, this is where I think we should do better. This is what I think we should help, we should work in. All of these ideas coming together with people that really catch the vision makes it make sense. But if you're with people that are just there for the glamour, they're just there for the stories, they're just there to say, oh, we're really doing something awesome here, it's going to take a longer journey. But you need the right people. And not just having the right people now, also impacting your staff, trainings that you give to them. And that's why, honestly, I always respect people who bring their staff to visioning retreat. Just like I know You Recycle does it. I know TMA has done it with our team. It's always so amazing. And I think there's usually a discount for that, right? When you bring your team members in, because it puts you on the same page. It's not just you as a visionary holding everything. Your team members also know what's going on. I mean, if you can't bring them in, I always have a retreat with my team members after I go for visioning retreat. So I'll go for visioning retreat, carry everything, then I'll go and have a retreat with my team members. I remember the last one, I had to bring DTB on because I'm like, yo, after everything I've heard in visioning retreats, please come and tell them with your own mouth. Don't let me be the one to, say it. And doing that does not just, it helps you, puts you on a leverage, because it's not just you trying to make it make sense. They also understand the vision, and they understand from an external person's perspective what this vision should actually mean to you. So it's all about, it's still inside what's the engine that makes your work work. Because if you just have the vision and you try to execute, it won't make sense if you don't have the right people working with you and they don't really understand the vision that you're working with.
Wow, 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 wow. Powerful insights. You heard it from Lady Della. I'm telling you, Team Retreat Plus calls, I'm telling you, right? Mrs. Not took the words out of my mouth, right? You heard it from Della. I love how she shared the story of how she's built a system that does not revolve around her, right? She does not literally need to step into the 4 walls of the school for the school to run. And that is so powerful. And this was just as a result of what? Being at the retreat. And not just being at the retreat once, but being there as an executive education experience. Knowing that year in, year out, it's your commitment to being there. So thank you. Thank you for sharing, Lady Della. So let's move on quickly to TMA, and then we'll come to Paul. Then we tie out today's webinar. Over to you, TMA. Okay, I think she's starting.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, please carry on.
You hear me?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
All right, you can hear me, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I mean, I so much resonate with what Lady Della shared about her vision literally running without her being present. A mentor called me today and she was like, "Oh, I heard you're moving to Lagos. So what's going to happen to the rehab in Ife? Are you closing down?" And I was like, "No, closing down, okay." Like, "How are you going to run it?" I said, I have people on ground, they are running it. So she was like, "Hey." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I've not even been to the rehab in like a month." And she was like, "Oh, wow." I said, "I have people on ground." And the truth is, if you build a vision to run when you are present only, that vision will not outlive you. Right.
Yes.
And I remember, I think it was DTB, yeah, I can't forget. DTB literally shared about the place of leveraging human capital, human resources, volunteering. I think it was MPIM. And I remember there was a statement she made that I cannot forget. She was like, "See, volunteering is not get together, it's not a get together group. You people are there to work." So I literally had to tell my team, "You know what, let's revamp this whole volunteering system. You are not just going to say, 'Oh, I love what you do, I just want to volunteer with you.' No, we're not doing that anymore. So to come into our volunteering system, you have to write an assessment test. We had to do all of that system. We had to put staffs on salary. We had to sort of really, really drop a system that can enable me breathe, can enable me do other things, because a vision that literally just revolves around you, you are the one carrying everything on your head, it will not fly. In fact, was it not last week? I was doing something. I can't remember what I was doing, but I think I was engaged. Yes, I was engaged with something else. I'm literally betting another vision that is so dear to my heart. And there was an outreach in Abuja. To be honest, we'll soon do posts now on social media and our fans. My organization did. I don't know how they put up the outreach. I don't know anything. All I try know that they said they want to do outreach, and they did outreach. Same thing that happened in Uyo, January 31st. I went to Uyo for a personal, engagement, and my chairman said, "You know what, we must do an outreach." I said, "Okay, carry on." They did an outreach in Uyo. They did an outreach in Lagos. In fact, for the Lagos one they did 2 weeks ago. I wanted to be there. I was on my way, saying I have to be there. Let me be there. What's going on? Traffic happened to me, and outreach happened. It finished. I didn't show up, and they had a great time. They had outreach too. So I would like to say this: that see, when you're building a vision, please allow people also build with you. Don't don't have this mindset of people are working for me. Have this mindset of people are working with me. For me, my organization, I've allowed people literally find themselves, fulfill, what the vision in their heart, the passion in their heart through my organization. I remember, was it YMR by Pastor Daniel? He reached out. My one of my PR, basically. She shared one of our videos, and P Daniel reached out to her that, "Oh, we'd like you to come and talk about your organization in at YMR, which is like one of the largest youth gatherings, and all of that." And I remember my PR was saying that, "Mama, you have to be the one to talk." I said, "Mike, go and shine your shine. Go and take the spotlight. Do the presentation. It's not my thing. Not be this thing is not my vision. Go and do your thing, and all of that." And I gave her that, when she brought the presentation to me, I helped her to, script it, to correct some things and all of that. And then she did her thing. Don't always want to be the big man in the room. Allow your team also carry the vision. I always reference DTB anytime I'm talking to my team. I'll say, "Look at DTB. Look at how she's, carrying this vision, how she's running Innovation Hub, how she's, and all of that. And look at what, how God has literally, improved her." And I would say that this also boils down to you investing in your team. Is one of the things that the DTB knows. When I'm paying for visioning retreat, I'm always asking for I asked for the package of the team package, even though they want to tear our accounts, not but I'm grateful for for all the discounts they give us, because I know that if I don't invest in them, the quality of work that I really want, the way I want the vision to fly, it is dependent on the people that are around me. If they are not growing at my pace, it will affect me. So and I'm also learning right now to leverage human capital. And I want to say this to those of you that might be in the room, that you are like James Bond and Jet Li. You can literally do everything. I don't know why Mr. Paul is laughing. I don't know. You can literally do everything. That's me. I can do, there's nothing here. I am Jehovah Alpha Omega, everything. But I have to learn that if I don't want to die young in this trying to make the world a better place, I have to close my eyes and delegate. You know, there's something I want to do. It's a major project. It's going to shake all of social media, you know, and all of that. So as I captured it yesterday, I just called one of my team. I said, do this, do that, do this. I'm traveling out of the country tomorrow. When I come back, I want it to be executed. She was like, yes, ma. I'm praying for her. She has to report. She will show workings, because I can't carry everything on my head. Right? I can't carry everything on my head. As a leader, you need to be able to breathe. Give people things to do so that your head can receive more things for the vision. That's what I would say. Thank you.
A drop mic moment. Now let me layer on that. Right? I love that TMA, sorry, already said invest in your team, and we're offering you a discount already. So if you now you're saying to us, we want to invest in a team of 3 to 5 or even more than 5, write to us, right? More than 5, write to us. We'll take it up from there. Do you understand? But the goal here is, don't come into the retreat alone. Come into the retreat alongside your team. And that's what has always happened at the retreats. We have had organizations, and this year too is not an exception. I don't want to just name names, right? There are organizations that have registered their teams to be on board. So don't be an exception. Do we understand that? All right, over to you, Paul.
Wow, in fact, one thing about this panel session looks like all of us, everything that Della and TMA, you know, saying what I already bred in my mind. But don't worry, I'll come in another dimension, right? So first, my leadership mindset had evolved in 2 areas since the last retreat I had. First, I've always thought in the area of impact, because since the retreats, in fact, from the AMS down to the retreats, it has become more pronounced that every of my action as a leader must have impact on people, not the structures, right? It's not about going to creating softwares. How does this address real problems? Especially when the implementation period is over, right? So I took that lesson in 2023, and I never knew that I would travel outside Nigeria within a year. Of course, I was applying for opportunities. One thing I would say is this: when you go for the visionary retreats, immediately after the retreat, explode. Do not keep the resources to yourself. See, the best kept secrets would always remain a secret. Imagine DDK has kept all of these strategies, these ideas to ourselves, right? We would not be here. We might be here, we might be coming through someone else. But I mean, for us to be at this stage, right? Shortly after the retreat, the NGO I work with that brought me to the retreat had to transition my role to a director role officially, where I had people who I am training, training a department. And guess what? My department was the first department to produce a full-time staff outside the normal staff, right? So I started thinking about my impact on people. Now, as at when I left Aqua World won a major grant from the United Development Programs, right? A full-blown project. I was not physically on ground, but guess what? All the activities went smoothly. And sometimes I just get information like, your people are doing well. I saw them did this on the field, better than when I was around, right? Because we have to improve if I am there or not. So my mindset had evolved beyond just me being the face of my organization, or beyond just me developing my capacity to impact myself alone, but people, that also to the programs, right? So the fact that I evolved from that, my mindset evolved into impact driven, meant that my initiative solution are pragmatic. My skill set, my services that I offer solve real problem. I have impact on the people. Now Aquaworld has created leaders across 32 countries, right? So every weekend I just get this email: we developed this program, kindly review this, what do you think about this? Aquaworld has now grown to giving people the platform to bring their potential to life. Likewise, also at Chill Recycle, I have been able to support program development, program that solves real problems. And this program has impacted people where they become co-creators of innovative solutions. So I've left from just activity, right, to impact oriented. At the same time, backing it up with excellence, right? Why it cannot always be perfect, but it must be excellent. So these two pillars has helped improved and enhanced my leadership mindset over the years since the visionary retreat. Thank you. I don't know if it's DCB's network.
Okay, am I back now? All right. Excellent.
Excellent.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, there's a feedback. Okay. Wow.
Wow. So do you want me to give it? I think, but I finished like just a few seconds
yes.
after you.
Yes. No, I'm sure everyone. Yes, you can just help. Because of the feedback. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, everyone heard it. Don't worry. But I think I had a sense of how you were going to land it, and I heard you clearly. Wow, what a testament again. These global change makers that we have had on board this webinar tonight are living testaments of the transformational impact of our work at IdeationHubAfrica. And these are just a few out of many. We can keep recounting these transformational stories and it will be endless. So thank you for sharing, Paul. And you can visit their pages on social media. Check them out on the different media, social media platforms, and you would attest to everything that they have shared tonight. So in rounding off, Paul, I would just want you to share a final charge with everyone. Just a powerful charge in line with the essence of this webinar. And more importantly, why we are inviting them into the room that we are curating for them. And the room is none other than the IHA Visionary Retreat with DDK and our array of thought leaders, global thought leaders, Lady Aoma, Lady Oluwaseyi, and Mr. Femi Taiwo. So over to you, Paul.
Okay. All right. So this is a very big call to everyone who has been contemplating. And for those looking forward, I'll just say this briefly. Now, the Visionary Retreat has grown. It's not just an annual program. No. It's an automated pipeline that develops unique leaders. Emphasis on the word unique leaders. Like I said, it has become an automated pipeline. See, you don't need to do anything, just be present, right? So it's an automated pipeline that develops unique leaders and equip them with foresight, knowledge, and resources to recreate systems and develop modern strategies that solve the world pressing issues. So you come into that room, no matter the level that you've achieved, you are becoming unique in your field, right? And let me take this back to the first question. When I came, I said I was trying to position myself as a leader in my space. As at then, I'm in the space of marine conservation and climate resilience. Now, from the time I was trying to set up the structure in 2021 down to 2026, I am now a leader in my space. I have been invited for international conferences to share insights. I've been invited by the African Union, when African Union and UNDP wanted to organize the first ever Blue Economy Week. I was invited as a young panel, not because I am the best, but because I am unique in my area, right? I have been invited to pitch project and solution, not because they are the best, but because they are unique. Emphasis on unique. And these are some of the refinement that takes place when you attend the ideation of retreat. If you think you are the best, you are the peak of your career, you are the climax of it all, come, you'll be modified, you become unique. So this is what I have to say. So emphasis on this word. This is a pipeline where unique leaders are created, and you don't just live with just beautiful ideas alone. No, you become a co-creator of cutting-edge models and strategies that would solve the world's problem. I mean, global problem, where you are being consulted to come and talk about your solution for other people to take notes and replicate them. That is what it means. You become investable, right? Since then now, I have contributed to over 3,000 US dollars and fund acquisition. Now, what does this mean? It means that these ideas have gone beyond ideas to ready to investable solution, right? These are the advantages that you would accustom to yourself. You are able to think and profile solution, not just solution, but solutions that are investment ready. Structure, I cannot stop talking about structure. See, fund is the least of a problem. Once you get the structure right, it attracts funding. I can tell you that it attracts funding. I've traveled to more than 15 countries, and I will tell you for this, all of these countries come from fully funded experiences where I've been invited to talk. You know, some people's, not to share anyone, people save money to go to some countries, you know, in December for holiday. I've been to those countries free of charge. These are some of the advantages when you become a unique leader. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Paul, for that outro. Drop mic moment. Thank you. And again, as I said, if you visit this page, you will just literally see this. They are living testaments of the impact of our work. Team, please post the links again. I know you are posting it consistently. Keep it coming through. We have not ended the webinar just yet. All right, let's have, okay, I thought she was in. I was about to say, okay, all right. And is TMA still around? I'm trying to search for her in the studio to be able to take our final words. If not, I think we are set to say goodbye. But in doing that, again, I'll put on the screen, sorry, I will put on the screen, or rather the team will put on the screen the opportunity for you to access the payment links and to also access the whooping 20% discount of registrations tonight into the next 72 hours. So please, let's leverage this. It's on the screen. Make the most of it. Make the most of it as we tie out. So let me read from you as we tie out in few minutes, in the next 1 to 2 minutes. What has stood out significantly for you from the panel session that we just held? Let me know. What was your aha moment? What did you hear? And what did you hear differently from all that has been shared? Let's read from you. I know Mrs. Notch has been in the chat box sharing. I want to just take these few thoughts from you and feedback within the next 1 to 2 minutes. as we tie out this webinar. All right, so share in the chat box. Thank you. Let's read from you. Thank you to all of our panelists who have joined us this evening. Thank you, Esther, for sharing. Okay, TMA will soon be back. I will have her share a final charge. But again, Esther says, you can't journey alone. That's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let me read from one more person. She says, you need the right language to communicate. I love it. And you could see that most of the thoughts echoed from Mrs. Notch's session were also re-echoed in the panel session. So thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening. We would have TMA go ahead to share. Over to you, TMA.
Thank you so much, Mar. It's been a great time, honestly. I think for me, the last words I would share with us is that you need to be audacious. Please, this year, be audacious, be bold. There was something that came to my heart to do that I was like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? I remember literally almost missing that moment. It was very, very, it was just like this. I would have missed it. You know, when Gaze Baba's song came out, No Turning Back, and I was just like, yeah, I need to create, should I create a content around this? Because I love content creation, right? So, and I was like, okay, should I do it? Let me get one of my girls to just sort of dance to it, and we'll just tell a story from prostitution to, you know, who she is today. And I remember I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm busy. And she was even not telling me, Amma, let's do it. And we just did it. And I mean, as our, you know, right now we have about 1 million views. For me, that single video gave us a lot of visibility. It wasn't just about the song. It was more about people getting to know the work that we do. And then it brought about partnership. It brought about collaboration. It brought about so many blessings. And it's still bringing about so many blessings today. You know, even the AFL video to Dubai Girl, that's a story for another day. And I would say that, you know, as a social impact leader, one of the things that will help you is please be audacious. Do the things that are coming to you. Sometimes the things that would shake and shift your organization, they would come as very, very tiny, you know, words and thoughts. You know, please and please pick those thoughts and then run with it. Be bold. Don't listen to naysayers. That's why you need to be in AHA room. You need to be in the visioning room where you can be told that, yeah, you can do it. Go for it. It's possible. That's what I'll say. Thank you so much for having me, Mar.
Thank you, TMA. What a night it has been. Thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening, from Mrs. Notch to Paul Ewela to Adiola Della Abayomi to TMA. Thank you. And of course, to our ever energetic audience, we say thank you. Mrs. Notch literally blows my mind. She left her session and she's still very much active in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has joined in tonight. What an evening it has been. Impactful, life transforming, and so instructional. Now we know what to do. We want to see you in the room. So let's make the most of it, right? Let's make the most of it. And I trust that we will all pay it forward to be present in the room come March 6th and 7th. To everyone who has joined us, we say thank you. And definitely we look forward to welcoming you at the main visioning retreat for nonprofits, policy leaders, and social innovators on the 6th and 7th of March. God bless you. and see you on the other side of greatness. Bye for now.